This page is the cover of SEGA Saturn magazine, dated April 18, 1997, Volume 12. The main highlight is the game Real Sound Azel, which we know internationally as Panzer Dragoon Saga. It's featured prominently with artwork and mentions it's a Panzer Dragoon RPG. Alongside Panzer Dragoon Saga, there are other games mentioned on the cover, including Last Bronx, Clockwork Knight 2, Cardcaptor Sakura, Tomoyo's Video de Sakusen, Tactics Formula 1, Magical Story, Langrisser IV, and J-League Victory Goal 97. The cover also teases other content inside the magazine, mentioning features on lower-grade students, games like Woovadis 2 and Planet Strongest Uven Ray, along with Seabass Fishing 2, Magical Hoppers, Falcom Classics, and Zero Yon Champ Doozy J Typer. It also mentions a SEGA Saturn Complete Guide, and articles on Advanced World War, Thousand-Year Empire's Collapse, Flower Team competition columns, and cyberbots. The cover also mentions a reader survey, indicating the magazine is engaging with its audience. The price of the magazine is 390 yen. Overall, the cover is packed with information on upcoming and featured SEGA Saturn games, and content for fans of the console. This page showcases the SEGA Saturn game, Professional Baseball Greatest 997. It's an advertisement highlighting the features of this baseball simulation game. The ad emphasizes the in-depth gameplay, mentioning things like choosing ball type and course, intense pitcher-batter confrontations, and the individuality of each player. It boasts realistic player models thanks to polygons, and the ability to create original teams and play against friends. The game also features up-to-date player data for teams like the Giants and Fighters. Finally, the ad points out the game's realistic recreations of famous stadiums like Nagoya Dome and Osaka Dome, promising a truly immersive baseball experience. You can see screenshots of the gameplay, including stadium selection screens, and in-game action shots showcasing the polygonal players. It's a solid-looking baseball game for SEGA Saturn fans. This page is an advert for the SEGA Saturn baseball game, Professional Baseball Greatest 997. It's really pushing the idea that you can become a next-generation hero in the world of baseball through this game. The advert features a young boy in a baseball uniform, really driving home the dream of becoming a baseball star. You can clearly see the SEGA Saturn console and controller, so there's no mistaking what platform this game is for. They even mention the price, which is 20,000 yen. It definitely builds on the previous page's promotion of this baseball simulation game, making it clear this is a big title for SEGA Saturn fans. This page showcases the SEGA Saturn game Duo Dietis, Ovenre Quo Vadis 2. It's highlighted as a blend of anime and gaming, promising a big emotional story and dramatic scenes. The game is described as a strategy title, where you command an assault armor unit through challenging missions across 70 stages, with over 50 characters involved in the story. The page hints at a deep narrative centered around a large-scale conspiracy and a protagonist named Omanovan, who becomes entangled with a guerrilla organization. It emphasizes numerous encounters and farewells, leading Ogrevan to discover the truth at the end of endless battles. Gameplay screenshots depict strategic map movement and combat sequences. There's a list of cast members, suggesting voice acting and character focus. It's definitely presented as a story-driven strategy game, with mecha, or armored units, clearly aimed at fans of anime-style narratives and tactical gameplay. The bottom right corner has a recruitment advertisement from Glamsaz, the game developer, seeking staff for various game development roles. The next page continues the focus on Duo Dietis, Ovenre Quo Vadis 2. This page showcases some really striking artwork of the game, with a large imposing mech front and center, surrounded by various characters who seem to be the pilots and support crew. The art style is very much in that classic mecha anime vein, really emphasizing the drama and scale of the battles. The tagline in Japanese at the top, O, roughly translates to, "For the sake of victory, what will you lose?" This really drives home the emotional and potentially tragic themes hinted at on the previous page. The page highlights that the game is absolutely on sale now, and mentions it's for the SEGA Saturn and priced at 6,800 yen plus tax for a 2-disc set. It reinforces that it's a simulation RPG. At the bottom, there's text mentioning the ending theme, Soto Yoru ni Naku, sung by Yuko Sasahara, and also details about a soundtrack file and Radio Drama Volume 1 being released. It mentions that bonus tracks are included as well, really emphasizing the multimedia push around this game. There's also a small photo of Yuko Sasahara herself, promoting the musical aspect of the game. Overall, this page is a strong visual advertisement for the game, reiterating its release and key features while emphasizing its dramatic narrative and anime aesthetic. This page is all about Angelique Special 2, announcing events at Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring. It's hyping up a voice actor talk show with Hikaru Midorikawa, voice of Zelfer, and Nobuo Tobita, voice of Marcel, happening at the Koei booth on April 5th at 4 p.m. There's also an Angelique cosplay contest on April 5th at 4:45 p.m., also at the Koei booth. They're even doing a special seal print corner on April 4th and 5th. The page also highlights the Angelique Special 2 Premium Box Travel Set, which is pretty cool. Moving down, there's a section about popular author Kurimoto Kaoru's Fantastic Horror Approach English. This is advertising multimedia English learning software, priced at 6,800 yen each volume. Lastly, there's a mention of Dark Hunter and Emit, also multimedia English learning software. Dark Hunter is listed as English Dream and English Dream, and Emit is English Dream Volume 13, priced at 8,800 yen each, and an Emit value set for 15,800 yen. Overall, it's a promotional page focused on Angelique Special 2 events, and some English learning software from the same publisher. This page is all about Angelique Special 2, highlighting that the trials to become queen are now even more exciting. It's described as a neo-romance game, where you nurture a planet from a different dimension, with mysteries surrounding the queen and candidate selection. They emphasize enhanced romance and the ability to develop characters' personalities, making this installment even more captivating. The page showcases the game logo prominently and lists the cast, including characters like Julius, Clavis, Oscar, and Zelfer, along with their voice actors. There's also mention of character design and animation credits. They're advertising a premium box travel set for Angelique Special 2, which includes the game, a tote bag, face towel, mini pouch set, can box, and a toothbrush set. Moving on, there's an advert for Game Nihonshi, or Game Japanese History, described as multimedia history learning software. It features historical figures like Oda Nobunaga and Toyotomi Hideyoshi, promising an engaging way to learn history. Two titles are mentioned: Revolutionary Child, Oda Nobunaga, and Tenkahito Toyotomi Hideyoshi and Ieyasu, with release dates and prices listed. This page showcases two very different strategy titles. Firstly, there's a big feature on Admiral's Decision 2I, which is described as the ultimate evolution in naval warfare simulations. They highlight its strategic depth and realistic data, suggesting it's a serious and complex World War II naval strategy game. You can see screenshots showing maps and naval engagements. It's slated for release on June 27th for 9,800 yen, and there's even a hyper guidebook being advertised for it. Then, switching gears completely, there's an advertisement for Uncharted Waters 2, a classic adventure and exploration game. They're playing up the sense of adventure, mentioning 7 seas and mysteries alongside 6 destinies, hinting at the different paths you can take. It's described as a popular Super Famicom title, now making its way to the Saturn. It's already out and available for 6,800 yen, with its own hyper guidebook too. Interestingly, it also mentions the Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring is approaching in April. This page is all about a special game pack compilation featuring 2 distinct adventure games. First up is D, which is referred to here by its Japanese title, 7 Doors of Narnia. The page describes it as a suspenseful mystery game where you explore a mansion filled with secrets and puzzles, emphasizing the use of voice acting and a strong production team. Then there's Myst, the hit adventure game, highlighted for its immersive realism, beautiful graphics, and clever gameplay mechanics. The page suggests this pack offers both titles together at a special price. Below these adventure game features, there are adverts for value-priced bundles of Koei strategy games. One set includes Nobunaga's Ambition, Tenshuki, alongside Nobunaga's Ambition, Lord of Darkness. Another bundle offers Romance of the Three Kingdoms V, paired with Romance of the Three Kingdoms Returns. Finally, there's an advert for Romance of the Three Kingdoms, The Legend of Cao Cao, completing the showcase of strategy titles from Koei. This page is an advertisement for a SEGA Saturn word processor and printer set. It's promoting the SEGA Saturn not just for gaming, but also as a useful tool for creating documents and printed materials. The ad highlights how easy it is to use with a dedicated keyboard and color printer, making it simple to produce nice-looking documents and cards. It even emphasizes the fun aspect by mentioning included clip art from the popular dating sim game Tokimeki Memorial, allowing users to personalize their creations with cute characters. The set is presented as a complete package for word processing on the SEGA Saturn. This page is all about the SEGA Saturn release of Sankyo Fever Real Machine Simulation. It's advertised as a true-to-life pachinko simulation game. The page features a picture of a woman in a bikini next to a pachinko machine, which is pretty standard for these kinds of games. It's shouting, "Released today!" and priced at 5,800 yen. The ad lists a bunch of pachinko machines that are included in the simulation, like Crossing Fever Beach, CR Fever, Big Powerful FX, Fever Ninja Painted Scroll SP, Missile 776D, and more. It also mentions a release campaign, where if you buy the game, you can enter a draw to win goods, and that the first print copies come with a special Sankyo original trading card. Alongside the game, they are also releasing a dedicated SEGA Saturn pachinko controller, which is sold separately for 5,800 yen. The page gives website and customer support details, and mentions there's also a Windows 95% version of the game available, covering models like Crossing Fever Jinga SP and Fever Megalopolis SP. This page showcases the SEGA Saturn game Kakusei, also known as Underclassmen, with the tagline, Heartbeat. It's clearly advertising a romantic simulation game aimed at adults, featuring several suggestive images of anime-style girls in various situations. The scattered images around the page highlight different characters and scenes from the game, typical of visual novel-style gameplay. You can see the elf logo at the bottom, confirming they are the developers of this title for the SEGA Saturn platform. This page is dedicated to the SEGA Saturn game Kakusei, also known as Underclassmen. The main text at the top reads, "To you, I want to convey." The page features a large image of a girl with purple hair, holding a briefcase and looking towards the viewer, suggesting a romantic or school setting. Scattered around her are smaller diamond-shaped images showcasing scenes from the game, featuring various anime-style girls in suggestive poses and situations, reinforcing the game's adult theme. There's a prominent yellow on-sale sticker highlighting the release date as April 25, 1997, a Friday, and a price of 7,800 yen excluding tax. At the bottom right, there's an age rating label indicating the game is for 18 years and older, solidifying its mature content. Overall, it's a visually driven advertisement, emphasizing the romantic and mature themes of Underclassmen for the SEGA Saturn, highlighting its availability and price. This page spotlights various strategy guides and art books for SEGA Saturn games. The Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression Bible offers a complete guide to the game, featuring scenario walkthroughs, character introductions, interviews, behind-the-scenes content, and soundtrack scores. The Scud Race Official Guide Volume 1 provides a guide to the arcade racer, developed by AM2, with CG artwork and detailed design explanations. Langrisser Sacred Secret File, a Klydrom-based art book, showcases character designs and setting materials from the Langrisser series. Last Bronx Official Artworks is a CG art collection featuring character artwork and setting materials. Finally, the Quo Vadis 2 Perfect Guide provides comprehensive strategies, character and mechanic data, and event information for the SFRPG Quo Vadis 2. This page presents a few interesting books. First up is Otaku Amigos, a book written by Okada Toshio, Karasawa Junichi, and Nemuta Nao. It sounds like a discussion on otaku culture, described as a collection of hot talks about breaking paradigms. It features a list of guest contributors, including manga artists like Ito Shinpei and Kaida Yuji, illustrator Hirata Hiroharu, writer Sorbonne Kei, and film director Nakano Yoshio, amongst others. Next we have Dungeon Melody by Sakata Yasuko, which seems to be a collection of columns from the Super 64 series. It mentions comics and essays, described as a first-column collection from a Game Freak manga artist, so expect some fun insights into the world of game development from a manga perspective. Lastly, there's Game Machine Sings Daisy Daisy's Song by Ono Fuyumi, and illustrated by Mizutama Keinosuke. This book compiles writings from the Super Famicom series, focusing on old Western games. It's written by the author Ono Fuyumi, known for fantasy novels, and features illustrations by Mizutama Keinosuke. It seems like a deep dive into classic Western game culture with a unique Japanese perspective. This page showcases the game lineup for the Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring event. It's essentially a directory of exhibitors and the games they are showcasing, broken down by manufacturer, game title, and the platform they are for. We can see a massive list of games across various platforms, like PlayStation, SEGA Saturn, Windows 95, Nintendo 64, and even older systems like Super Famicom and Game Boy. Many well-known Japanese publishers are present, including Capcom, Konami, Sega, Enix, and many others. Looking through the game titles, it seems to be a broad representation of what was hot at the time. There are entries from popular series like Resident Evil, Mega Man with multiple titles listed, Winning Post, and Tokimeki Memorial. We also see action games, RPGs, and strategy titles. Some games are listed as in development or reference exhibit, indicating they might be early looks at upcoming titles. It looks like a comprehensive overview for attendees to navigate the game show and plan what to check out. The page is purely informational, listing game titles and platforms without much commentary or review. This page presents game listings from the Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring, formatted in a table by manufacturer, title, and platform. Sony showcased several titles, including Crash Bandicoot 2 and Intelligent Cube. Taito listed arcade conversions and puzzle games like Puzzle Bobble 2. Other companies included Takara, Data East, Acclaim, Dead or Alive Goal, Denki Tsushin, Toshiba Emi, Hudson Soft, Bomberman Saturn, Namco, Bandai, Banpresto, Super Robot Wars Series, Victor Interactive Software, Tomb Raider, and Packensoft. The page concluded with listings from Human, Ping, and Family Soft, representing diverse genres. The selection highlights the wide variety of games being promoted at the show, primarily for PlayStation and SEGA Saturn, providing a snapshot of the gaming landscape in 1997. This page is the contents page for SEGA Saturn Magazine, showcasing the main features of this issue. The prominent title is Internet Exploration for SEGA Saturn readers, emphasizing a guide from manufacturer pages to character pages online. Highlighted features include a special report on page 28, focusing on Real Sound, Cause No Regret. Page 56 contains a special feature described as Want to See, Want to Know, Want to Meet, again pointing to this internet exploration theme for readers. The page also lists several games featured in the magazine, including Panzer Dragoon Saga, Machi, Last Bronx, Cul-de-Cept, Tactics, Formula 1, the Puyo Puyo series, under the title Madu Monogatari, and Langrisser IV. It also mentions Solo Crisis and The Unsolved, which seem to be thematic topics, or potentially game categories, being covered in this issue. Sonic the Hedgehog is prominently featured in an image, reinforcing the Sega Saturn connection. The magazine issue is dated April 18, 1997, Volume 12. This page essentially lays out the key articles and content readers can expect within this issue of SEGA Saturn Magazine, focusing on internet resources for fans and highlighting upcoming game coverage. This page is packed with SEGA Saturn game news and information. It kicks off with new release titles, highlighting recently launched games like PGA Tour 97, a Japanese mahjong game, and My Dream on Air Demand. Then it moves to Coming Soon Software, previewing upcoming titles such as Underage, Fallen Angel, Quo Vadis 2, New Theme Park, Voice Idol Maniacs, Angelique Special 2, and Sankyo Fever, Real Simulation, Actua, Golf. The page also features a SEGA Saturn Soft Complete Guide section, promising detailed strategies for released games, specifically mentioning Advanced World War and Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness. There's an AM3 Research segment focusing on Top Skater Course Introduction and Virtual on Xover, Provisional, giving a sneak peek into these titles, possibly from Sega's AM3 development team. On the right, there's a Game Index, which is an alphabetical listing of games featured in this issue, along with their page numbers. It includes a broad range of titles mentioned on the page, such as Actua Golf, Panzer Dragoon RPG, localized as a Gazel, Advanced World War, Amok, Angelique Special 2, Fallen Angel, Culdicept, Quo Vadis 2, and many more, providing a quick reference to find specific game info within the magazine. Essentially, this page is a snapshot of what's new and upcoming in the Sega Saturn world, covering recent releases, previews of future games, strategy guides, and an index to navigate all the game coverage in this issue. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn Game Stakes Winner 2. It's promoting the upcoming release of the arcade horse racing game on Sega Saturn, boasting a complete recreation of the arcade experience with both domestic and international versions of arcade mode. The popular horse breeding and training mode is also improved for this version. The game allows players to compete in races around the world to become the #1 horse racing legend. There's also a special offer for purchasers of either the PlayStation or Sega Saturn versions of Stakes Winner. By sending in the questionnaire postcard included in the game, 100 lucky people for each console will receive original odds cards as a bonus gift, with a deadline of April 10th. Stakes Winner 2. Strongest Horse Legend is set to be released in May 1997 for 5,800 yen, not including tax. The page credits the illustration to Miso Suzuki, and lists SNK as the publisher and Saurus as the developer. Screenshots show gameplay and horse selection screens. This gaming news update covers recent events and upcoming broadcasts. A Sakura Wars song show performance by the Imperial Opera Company's Flower Troupe, featuring voice actors, singing, dancing, and scenes, had tickets on sale. Regarding radio, TBS Radio, Game Walker's Corner, airs Tuesdays with game information and advice. Cyberwave, Midnight Virus, focuses on the virus game, featuring SF artists and radio dramas. Tokyo FM, Nightwave Eno at Home, showcases game scenes and music, with details about their next event. Finally, Internet, Macho and Haruna's Carefree Radio, broadcasts Evangelion-related content on Wednesdays, including voice actors and game developers, with a recent public broadcast event in Shibuya. Several audio and game-related media releases are announced. A Cyber Troopers Virtualon Drama CD sequel, Counterpoint 009A, is releasing May 28th. The game's Sentimental Graffiti is getting a musical spin-off, with a single due May 21st. Hiru Oji's radio show, Hirumi Oji's Matchless Heaven, transforms into a PlayStation RPG Fire God story. A 12-year-old wins an award for Maho Usatan no Eniki, created using ASC2 tools. Music releases include Eurobeat covers, Give Me a Shake Max, Globe's second single, Every Little Thing's first album, Izumi Masako's second album, The Cool Chic Child's second single, Miho Nakayama's best album, and several other compilation albums and Sorcerian arrangements. The top 15 best-selling Sega Saturn games in Japan are showcased, reflecting a diverse market. Advanced World War, A Thousand Year of Empire, a strategy game, tops the list, followed by the relaxing store management simulation. The Conveni, Ano Machi Wodokusen Seiyo, Neon Genesis Evangelion, new package, takes third place. Sports titles like J-League Victory Goal 97, and popular franchises like Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression, are also represented in the top 5. Further down the list are puzzle games like Puyo Puyo Sun, along with simulation titles like Yushun Classic Road, and fighting games like Fighters Megamix. Racing games, such as Manx TT Superbike, also made the list. The remaining titles include GQ Power Pro Wrestling 97, Denu Senki Virtualon, Sakura Taisen Hana Saku Otome, Shutoku Battle 97, and Shining the Holy Ark. The page offers sales data and reviewer comments, giving a snapshot of the Sega Saturn's popular games at the time. This page showcases 2 distinct top game charts. The first, User Data Top 20, reveals what Sega Saturn owners were hoping to see ported to their system. Final Fantasy V2 unsurprisingly tops this list with a massive lead, followed by Neon Genesis Evangelion, Girlfriend of Steel, and Street Fighter II 1. Other notable entries in the top 10 include games like My Goddess, Scud Race, Dragon Quest series, Rent-A-Hero, Phantasy Star series, Duke Yusei, and D&D series. The page mentions a survey of user desires for game ports to the Sega Saturn. The second chart, Shop Data Top 15, lists the top 15 arcade video games. Virtua Fighter 3 dominates this chart, followed by Cyber Troopers Virtualon and Tekken 3, making a strong new entry at number 3. Street Fighter 2i and Real Bout Fatal Fury Special are also high up in the rankings. The page highlights Tekken 3 as a newcomer in a special section, noting its arrival and popularity, asking, "How will you fight?" and mentions its smooth animation and character depth, suggesting it might be a rival to Virtua Fighter. It also briefly mentions Virtua Fighter 3 and Street Fighter 2 with small screenshots and text. Overall, the page provides a snapshot of both desired home console ports and the current arcade game popularity in Japan. The Sega Saturn's User Data Top 30 showcases anticipated games. Grandia leads with 459 points, despite being early in development. Virtua Fighter 3 follows with 379 points, while Kakusei Classmates, nearly complete, takes third place, promising event scenes. Further down the list, Super Robot Wars Fighty and Can Bunny Extra appear. The remaining top 30 includes titles like Resident Evil 2, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, and Lunar, Eternal Blue. A coming soon section highlights Elf Wokaru Monotachi and Groove on Fight. The list provides a glimpse into the Saturn's upcoming game library and user excitement. This page showcases the Weekly Sega Saturn Readers Race Volume 47, a popularity poll for Sega Saturn games voted on by readers. It presents two main ranking charts, Odds Chart Saturn A and Odds Chart Saturn B, listing games, their genres, and reader scores. The page highlights the Spring Sports Software Rush section, noting that while new sports titles are being released, older games are still dominating the top spots in the charts. It mentions Virtua Fighter and Daytona USA screenshots as examples of games holding strong. The commentary also suggests that some newer entries in established series are not performing as strongly in the polls as expected in the "This series of new software seems to be slightly sluggish" section, pointing to a potential trend in player preferences. The page is primarily data-driven, presenting game rankings and reader opinions through these charts and brief commentaries. It gives a snapshot of what Sega Saturn gamers were currently playing and anticipating, reflecting a vibrant and engaged community at the time. Continuing the discussion from the previous page's User Data Top 30 Anticipation List. This page continues the Sega Saturn Readers Race Popularity Poll, showcasing more reader reviews for various games. It seems to be highlighting new and popular titles from the Spring Sports Software Rush, but notes that older titles are still performing strongly in the charts. The page features four main game reviews at the top left, starting with Victory Goal 97, a soccer game, praising its improved CPU AI, making it more enjoyable, although there's a slight concern about the graphics. Next is Wareya no Kiseki, Extra 36 Holes, a golf game, liked for its realistic feel and simple controls, especially the new Super Shot. Then there's Snowboarding Tricks, a snowboarding game, praised for its realistic snow feel and fun trick system, although some find the controls a bit complex and the sound lacking. Finally, Desktop Heat 97, a racing game, is appreciated for its realistic car physics and immersive feel, with some minor graphic issues noted. The right side of the page is dominated by the Odds Chart Saturn B, a very long list of Sega Saturn games ranked by reader votes. This chart contains a massive amount of game titles with their genres and average scores, showcasing the breadth of the Saturn library and reader preferences at the time. It's essentially a detailed popularity ranking of a large number of Saturn games. This review covers several new Saturn games and features. Die Hard Trilogy receives praise for its accessible, destructive action. Shingata Kururin Pa is a simple yet engaging puzzle game, with a focus on precise controls and a fun two-player mode. Fushigi no Kuni no Angelique is highlighted for its beautiful visuals, relaxing gameplay, and enjoyable minigames. Gameware Volume 4, a collection of simple minigames, is also mentioned as offering short bursts of fun, with boys and girls specifically called out. The review also references an odds chart ranking Saturn games, and concludes with an enthusiastic section celebrating the Saturn's fanbase and its spirited games, encouraging continued support despite potential market position challenges. This page delves into upcoming and recently released SEGA Saturn games, continuing from the previous odds chart rankings. Advanced World War: Thousand-Year Empire's Demise is highlighted as a new strategy game, praised for its sky-ground dual map system and detailed maps, but noted as potentially difficult for beginners. There are many reviews for several games. Henry Explorers is described as having a horror-like atmosphere and impactful sound effects, creating a sense of tension. Advanced vs. G is reviewed, comparing it to the PC version and noting improvements in balance, but suggesting that character patterns and overall power-ups are not significantly changed. Worms is praised for its simple rules and strategic depth, with the reviewer appreciating the English text display and destructive gameplay. The page also features the weekly ranking of SEGA Saturn peripheral equipment, a chart listing various Saturn peripherals and their evaluation scores. Finally, it announces a reader race, where participants can predict game rankings based on the odds chart for a chance to win prizes like a power memory, wireless controller, or joystick sets. There's also a double chance game connected to the odds chart, and a special present section showcasing the prizes available to be won in the reader competition. This page features an interview with Kenji Ino, the director, and Yuji Itamoto, the scriptwriter, about the upcoming SEGA Saturn game, Real Sound Wins Regret. The interview is titled, A Chance Encounter with Wind, and it discusses the game's concept of discarding the visuals to create a new form of expression through sound. Real Sound is highlighted as an adventure game developed by Warp, scheduled for a summer release, and priced at 6,400 yen. It is noted as a 3-disc game. The interview suggests that the game intentionally moves away from relying on graphics, instead focusing on audio to deliver a unique gaming experience. The interview aims to explore the intentions and thoughts behind this unconventional approach to game design with the director and scriptwriter. The interview with Ino and Itamoto explores the development of Real Sound Wins Regret, a game prioritizing sound over visuals. They aim to evoke emotion and narrative through audio, challenging conventional game design. They discuss crafting a relatable experience despite its unconventional format, emphasizing a realistic sound design and a common language in storytelling. The game is described as a 2-hour TV drama-style experience. The team focused on sound design and script writing to create an immersive storyline. The script's adaptability and potential are highlighted. The developers view Real Sound as a new genre, akin to an interactive audio drama, but still a game. Ino jokingly describes it as SM, hinting at its unconventional and perhaps provocative nature. In an interview, Ino and Itamoto discuss their sound novel, Real Sound Wins Regret. They emphasize how sound alone, like rain, builds imagery and emotion, a stark contrast to visual media. The goal is to hand-deliver time to the player, creating a shared imaginative experience where the focus is solely on audio. They explore their creative process, including the origin of the street concept. They strive for realistic sound design to deeply resonate with players, comparing the game's development to building a sound-focused pool. Humorous title alternatives are mentioned. Their conversation touches on other games like Waku Waku 7 and Daytona USA 2, demonstrating a broad gaming knowledge. Ino's passion for gaming, exemplified by his long-term enjoyment of various titles, is also evident. This page features a couple of interesting sections. The top half has a discussion titled, Existence Itself is Yearning for Men, which is a quirky title focusing on romance in games, likely in the context of Real Sound. The interviewers, Sakamoto and Ino, are discussing dating simulation games. They touch upon the appeal of character archetypes and how they are perceived in these games, mentioning Tokimeki Memorial as an example, noting how popular it is even if they personally might not enjoy it. They are exploring the idea that for some players, the allure is about the concept of a man yearning, finding that relatable and engaging. Below that is a report on the Real Sound production announcement. This section details a press conference at the Four Seasons Hotel on March 25th for Real Sound. Key figures like Ino, Itamoto, Sato, and representatives from SEGA and FM Tokyo were present. The focus of the announcement was the game's innovative approach, emphasizing sound and audio to create the game experience. It seems they showcased the unique direction of Real Sound and the team behind it. There is also a smaller side piece highlighting Yuji Sakamoto, who is described as a game designer at Warp and someone who has worked on titles since 1967, receiving awards and recognition for his work in visual media and game development, specifically noting his role as a game designer. He is presented as an experienced figure in the industry, contributing to game creation. This article explores Panzer Dragoon's saga, emphasizing the RPG's focus on the ancient world's mysteries. The game aims to immerse players in a world where imagination flourishes, starting with the Old Century and the giant skyship, Shellkoof, a biomechanical weapon that destroyed the protagonist's village. The article highlights the lasting impact of this advanced civilization and its almost godlike technology. A section featuring Manabu Namiki discusses the unique design of Panzer Dragoon's dragons. The team aimed for originality, creating a world beyond typical medieval fantasy, with a sense of reality and depth. The dragons are key, with the game exploring their lore and various types through concept art, showcasing their evolution within the world. Panzer Dragoon Saga explores the Empire's drive for dominance, suggesting they seek ancient relics of the Old Century for human survival. The game investigates the true nature of dragons, theorizing they are guardians connected to Shellkoof, not just weapons. The article highlights themes of courage and travel, showcasing dragons as protectors in the opening and ending sequences. Secrets are revealed through ancient weaponry and Old Century ruins, positioning the dragon's protective role as a central conflict. Katsumi Yokota discusses the cover art's Old Century aesthetic, the hand-drawn feel, and emphasis on human characters and interaction. The focus is on portraying humans realistically, prioritizing their relationships and connection to the world. This page reveals the latest details on Machi, the brand new sound novel title in the series. It highlights the game's innovative multi-fragment system, which sounds like a branching narrative mechanic where the story unfolds differently depending on player choices. They are using real-life video footage, which is pretty cool for a sound novel. The page introduces the concept of having 8 main playable characters, a first for the series. It seems like these characters are all interconnected, and their paths will cross in Shibuya. We get a glimpse at 4 of these characters: Amemiya Keima, a 25-year-old police officer; Ushio Masami, a 36-year-old former Yakuza; Ichikawa Fumino, a 38-year-old TV scriptwriter; and Sogano Makoto, the director of the game himself. The director, Sogano Makoto, explains that they've designed the game with 8 protagonists to create a more dramatic and interesting experience, focusing on how these characters from different walks of life will interact in Shibuya. It sounds like they're really pushing the boundaries of the sound novel genre with this multi-fragment system and multiple main characters. The game is currently 65% complete and slated for release this summer. This page dives deeper into the gameplay of Machi and its unique multi-fragment system set in Shibuya. It highlights how the stories of the 8 main characters intertwine, showing us scenarios where their paths cross and choices impact each other. We get a glimpse at different scenes, such as one where Akiba is on patrol and encounters another character, possibly related to a case. Another section focuses on a mysterious message, hinting at puzzle-solving elements. There's a scenario in the rainy Miyamasuzaka crossing, emphasizing the game's real-world Shibuya locations. The page also showcases Ushio's makeover, suggesting character customization or changes might be possible, and a scene where a PC seems unusable, indicating gameplay challenges. Finally, Ushio's proposal destiny hints at romantic or relationship-focused storylines within the game. The director, Makoto Sogano, reiterates the multi-fragment system's core idea. You can replay the game from different characters' perspectives to see the same events unfold in new ways, enriching the overall narrative experience. It sounds like Machi is aiming to deliver a complex and replayable story by letting you explore Shibuya and its dramas from multiple viewpoints. The game appears to focus on detective work and mystery solving, with the Shibuya riot investigation section possibly related to a central case. This page continues the interview with General Director Kazushige Nojima, focusing on the scenario structure of Machi. He mentions that creating a cohesive scenario was challenging due to having 8 protagonists with different objectives and personalities whose actions influence each other's destinies. He explains that while there is one main storyline, the game provides multiple endings and perspectives from the 8 protagonists. The page highlights the game's branching scenarios and player choice system with 2 checkpoint examples. The first example, titled The Case of Odogiriso, uses a scenario where the player is presented with choices, like washing hands or not, that affect the story's progression. This is described as showcasing how player choice allows for diverse story developments. The second example, The case of Kamaitachi no Yoru demonstrates a similar branching structure where player choices lead to different scenario paths and outcomes, including bad end and end possibilities. Both examples emphasize that player decisions significantly alter the narrative flow, allowing for a range of experiences within the game. The interview further elaborates that in Machi, unlike traditional games where only the player character's actions matter, the actions of other characters also change and influence the player's path, creating a dynamic and interconnected narrative within the setting of Shibuya, which is depicted as moving along its own timeline, regardless of the player's immediate actions. This page continues the interview with General Director Nojima from Chunsoft, focusing on the visual aspects of Machi. He talks about the game using movie scenes and still images, and how they worked hard to make these transitions smooth, as he felt it was jarring to see a high-quality movie then suddenly switch to lower-resolution gameplay graphics, like when you see game footage in TV commercials. There's a section that further explains the multi-fragment system, highlighting how the actions of different protagonists intertwine within Shibuya at the same time. It uses a diagram to show how choices and actions branch out and connect the stories of the main characters. Finally, the page announces a Machi event at the Tokyo Game Show. Fans can experience a playable demo of Machi, watch unreleased video footage, and even get limited edition goods like special clear cases if they visit the Chunsoft booth on certain days. There's also going to be stage events with Prickla extract appearances and other fun activities. It sounds like a big deal for Machi fans to check out at the show. The next page is a preview of Last Bronx, showcasing the game's background graphics, which are still in development. It highlights two stages, Dark Rooftop and Naked Airport. The Dark Rooftop stage is set in a Tokyo skyscraper district at night, giving off a cool and stylish vibe. The Naked Airport stage takes place at night on a runway, featuring a jumbo jet in the background for a powerful visual impact. The article checks the background completion in the game, and comments that even though it is still in development, the quality is already high compared to the arcade version. It mentions that the backgrounds are not just single images, but are dynamic and change with camera angles during gameplay, promising an immersive experience. The RASPRO director, Anbu, mentions in an interview section that they are aiming for both realism and beauty in the visuals, and are trying out various technical approaches. They encourage players to check out the game to see the progress. It's also mentioned that at this stage, the arcade version is 30% complete. Last Bronx is nearing completion of its Saturn port, showcasing a playable demo at a game show. The demo features all four main characters, Yusaku, Yoko, Tommy, and Nagi, with their arcade-accurate moves like Snake Ruler and Mountain Wind Wheel. The game is about 30% complete, focusing on a faithful adaptation of the arcade version, while promising new Saturn-exclusive content details later. The visuals and smooth gameplay are highlighted, with comparisons made to the arcade experience. Director Anbu confirms the characters' controls feel arcade-perfect, and the team is in the final stages of refinement. The game will be playable at the Tokyo Game Show on April 4th and 5th, with director Anna Burbu hosting a talk show, inviting fighting game enthusiasts to experience the game and learn about unreleased content. This page is an interview with Akinobu Abe, the director of SEGA AM3 R&D, about the Saturn port of Last Bronx. The headline asks if Last Bronx is pushing the Saturn to its limits. Abe discusses how they've achieved a complete port and are now focusing on the overall feel of the game. Abe explains that the title was changed to Last Bronx to represent the game as the core of a broader series. He mentions the development is about 30% complete and currently focusing on capturing the arcade play feel, especially the controls. He reiterates that all four playable characters, Yusaku, Yoko, Tommy, and Nagi, mentioned previously, are in, and their moves are arcade accurate. Initially, 3 stages will be available. The interview touches upon the visual aspect, aiming for a balance between visual presentation and the 3-dimensional feel. Abe emphasizes the importance of gameplay feel over just graphics, making sure it feels right for players. He hopes to attract a wide audience, including more female players, to fighting games with Last Bronx. He also mentions the upcoming talk show at the Tokyo Game Show, encouraging people to come and play the game to experience it firsthand and understand what they are aiming for with the Saturn version. The page ends by saying to expect more news on Last Bronx soon. Quintet's Solstice, Solo Crisis, a simulation game for the SEGA Saturn slated for Fall '97, offers a unique take on world building. Players choose to influence either the God's world, a bright, serene realm, or the Devil's World, a dark, volcanic landscape. The game isn't a direct battle, but a strategic manipulation of each world through followers, miracles, demons, and magic. The core gameplay involves a turn-based system where players deploy minions to explore and act, creating a board game-like experience. The two worlds are interconnected, reflecting a fundamental duality. Screenshots highlight the stark visual contrast between the God's World, with European architecture, and the Devil's World, filled with pyramids and ominous figures. The tagline, "Is it God or Devil who smiles?" hints at the game's central theme. This page details quintets, Solstice, Solo Crisis, focusing on the shimobe, the player's followers. These are categorized into farmers, workers, warrior gators, and instructors. Shimobe gain experience and level up through building and combat, possessing RPG stats like HP, attack, and defense. The page features a staff interview with Mr. Miyazaki, emphasizing the board game-like simulation design and the core concept of the God's World versus the Devil's World. The interview stresses the importance of the game's scenario and worldview, implying a narrative-driven experience. Lessons learned from previous works are being applied. A tagline hints at a complex narrative that requires understanding both sides of the conflict. Overall, the page unveils the game's mechanics, design philosophy, and narrative depth. Solstice, Solo Crisis, features a code decryption system central to its gameplay. Players decipher cryptic messages, potentially from demonic guides, to unravel the game's hidden world. These messages, utilizing strange symbols and figures, are key to progression, unlocking secrets, and furthering the story. Developer Mr. Miyazaki discusses the technical aspects, detailing the use of Cossack language, Saturn hardware optimization, and his ambition to create an engaging and unique experience. He experimented with the Saturn's capabilities to ensure an enjoyable game. Finally, the Quintet homepage launch for Solstice Solo Crisis is announced, promising game information, development updates, and community interaction. The page showcases the game's logo and a photo of Miyazaki with game-related materials. Culdicept, a board games trading card game hybrid for the SEGA Saturn, is coming in autumn '97. Developed by Omiya Soft and published by SEGA, the price is yet to be determined. Up to 4 players can engage in this strategic game of magic and land control. Players collect cards, traverse a board, claim land, and cast spells to accumulate magic and return to their starting city. The game features beautiful graphics and an orchestral soundtrack by Yuzo Koshiro. The map, Glass Shardport, is beginner-friendly. Culdicept supports solo and multiplayer modes, where players can battle creatures and conquer land. The game draws inspiration from games like Monopolies, with the goal of bankrupting opponents by managing assets and leveling territories. With over 300 card types available, strategic depth is found in battles and land management. This page delves deeper into the strategy and beauty of Culdicept, emphasizing its immersive world. The page highlights the game's evolution from a dice-based board game, incorporating card elements for greater strategic depth in battles and land management. We see screenshots of the game in action, showcasing the map screen with its quarter-view perspective, and the battle screen with card information and creature stats. The game boasts over 300 different card types, crucial for strategic gameplay, falling into 3 categories: creature cards for land control, spell cards for direct attacks or player support, and item cards to aid creatures in battle. The AI opponents, with 8 distinct personalities, also add to the challenge. The article mentions the goal of collecting cards to create the ultimate original book or deck. Collecting beautiful and powerful cards is a key aspect, allowing players to build strategic decks for battles. We also see interviews with Hideo Suzuki, the representative director and president of Omiya Soft, and Takayuki Kamigyo, the game designer. Mr. Suzuki mentions that Culdicept has been in development, emphasizing strategic elements and card usage. Mr. Kamigyo, who is responsible for the core game design, talks about the fun of building card collections and strategic deck construction in Culdicept. He mentions the game's balance as crucial, expressing his dedication to refining it for release, and hopes players will enjoy the deep strategy it offers. Tactics Formula 1 is a strategic formula racing game for the SEGA Saturn, designed for players who enjoy the mental challenge of racing rather than fast-paced action. Players experience the thrill of formula racing by thinking like a pro. The game uses a turn-based system, dividing each lap into about 30 turns, where players input commands for each block of turns. There are 21 stages to race through. Key features include detailed machine settings with 7 customizable parameters, a beginner's mode, and a focus on acceleration, handling, including cornering techniques, and tire/fuel management. A comprehensive replay feature allows for race analysis from any perspective. Developed by SEGA/ManBreeze, Tactics Formula 1 is categorized as a board game and is scheduled for release in summer 1997. The game supports 1 to 4 players. This page features an interview with Hideji Yoshida, the representative director and vice president of ManBreeze, the company behind the SEGA Saturn game Tactics Formula 1. Yoshida describes Tactics Formula 1 as a strategic game designed for players who enjoy the mental challenge of racing, focusing on tactics rather than just speed. He explains that the game uses a turn-based system where players strategically input commands for each turn, aiming to simulate the experience of thinking like a real Formula racer. Yoshida highlights features like the acceleration phase and handling phase, suggesting a gameplay focus on strategic choices during races. He also mentions a comprehensive replay mode that allows players to analyze their races in detail. Yoshida believes that SEGA Saturn users are sophisticated gamers who appreciate in-depth gameplay and are not solely focused on graphics. He expresses hope that Tactics Formula 1 will appeal to these players by offering a unique and strategically rich racing experience. The page includes screenshots of the game, showing polygon-rendered Formula 1 cars in races, reinforcing the game's strategic, thoughtful approach to the racing genre. This page is a vibrant announcement for the SEGA Saturn release of Madou Monogatari. The page highlights a big reveal at Makuhari on March 30, 1997, where it was announced that Compile is bringing Madou Monogatari to the Saturn as an RPG, slated for release that winter for 5,800 yen. It emphasizes that Madou is not over yet, and the Saturn version will feature brand new animations, produced in-house by Compile's newly established official animation studio, ensuring the animations are closely integrated with the game itself. Unlike previous versions on platforms like DiskStation and Mega Drive, the Saturn version will boast cell animation. The article also mentions Compile's dedication to sound, promising impressive in-game audio. It directly calls out fans of Puyo Puyo and familiar characters like Arcale and Carbuncle, suggesting that if you know these characters, you'll definitely enjoy this new Madou Monogatari RPG on Saturn. The game is described as accessible to all skill levels, offering a fun RPG experience. The page concludes by telling fans eager to experience the original world of Puyo Puyo to look forward to its release this winter. This page is all about the main character of the upcoming SEGA Saturn RPG, Madou Monogatari, which of course is Arle. It mentions that while previous versions on Mega Drive and DiskStation were like prototypes, this Saturn version is the real deal. Arlen will be using her signature magic, like Fire, Ice Storm, and Diacute. It's also highlighted that the Puyo Puyo mode will be included in Madou Monogatari, featuring player versus player battles. The page then introduces familiar Puyo Puyo characters who will be making appearances, such as Dragon Centaur, the fire-breathing musclehead, Suketudara, the popular fishman, Witch, skilled in dark magic, Skezo, known for his "I want you" catchphrase, Rulyu, a rival and powerful magic user, and even Satan, the king of darkness, who seems to be after Arl. There's a section explaining what Madou Monogatari is, describing it as an RPG that originated on MSX2 and PC. It mentions the fuzzy parameter system and detailed graphics for its time. PC 9801 versions were also released. It clarifies that the Puyo Puyo characters became popular within Madou Monogatari, and the Saturn version, often called Madou Saturn, is a puzzle game derived from these RPG roots, set to arrive this winter. The page includes screenshots from the Mega Drive and DiskStation versions to give a visual idea of the game. This page showcases the latest visuals and character illustrations for Langrisser IV. It highlights 2 generals: Lanford, who achieved his position at the young age of 26, praised for his excellence despite his youth, and McLean, a general burdened by a year of memories and covered in countless wounds, giving off a somewhat unpleasant aura. The page also features the Langrisser IV logo and mentions that it's presented by CareerSoft in 1997. At the bottom, it notes a special report about the game, with release details for July from Messiah, and prices for both the special and regular editions. The next page introduces Angelina, and Admiral Wyler. Angelina is described as the princess of the kingdom of Kekonsis, the twin sister of Shelfaniel, and a 16-year-old skilled knight. Admiral Wyler from Kekonsis is depicted as an intellectual strategist who always reads ahead, and his swordsmanship is said to be even sharper than his son's. There's also a section introducing the voice actors, highlighting the talented cast for Langrisser IV. It mentions the voice acting will bring new life to the characters, and they are excited to see how it will unfold. Below this is a character list for Langrisser IV, showing characters and their voice actors. It includes names like the main character, Ricky, Rachel, Shelfaniel, Angelina, Wyler, McLean, Lanford, Frederick, Kizarov, Kruger, Kokothis, Emily, Ristel, Selena, Rosenthal, Creonis, Rivars, Bruno, and Bulk, alongside their respective voice actor names. This page highlights The Unsolved, a hyperscience adventure game. It's described as a documentary-style adventure that tackles unexplained mysteries and supernatural events using a scientific approach, aiming for a thrilling and realistic experience. The game is framed around unsolved cases and lets you delve into shocking real-life mysteries. The page features an interview with Torishima Akio, a science entertainer who worked on the game's scenario. He explains the concept came from his long-held interest in the supernatural and the desire to blend it with science, much like the TV show X-Files, which is mentioned as a direct inspiration for the game's structure. He views the game episodes as having different levels of mystery, similar to X-Files episodes. The interview touches upon the development process and his collaboration with producers. The page also includes a profile of B, noting his background as an animator, manga artist, and science entertainer, with interests in ancient civilizations, UFOs, and mythical creatures. There's a special report section showing the game is 95% complete. Voice actors and staff are mentioned, including Birdman as the first-person narrator for supernatural phenomena, and Brian Yuzna, a director of horror and SF movies like Bride of Reanimator 2, as the image director. The game is said to be released soon, and is priced at 7,800 yen. This page continues the information about The Unsolved. It highlights how your dialogue choices impact the game's story, depending on whether you choose yes or no, and how strongly you affirm or deny something. The scenario will change. The game uses nuanced responses, from strongly believing to strongly disbelieving, when you are asked about UFOs and other mysteries. For example, a strong yes means, "That's right, I absolutely believe it," while a strong no means, "Completely different, unbelievable." The page also discusses how the game is designed to appeal to hardcore fans of flying saucers and mystery enthusiasts, suggesting that players might easily get lost in the game's depth and intricate details. The developers have incorporated many layers of information and secrets into the game, ensuring that players who are truly invested in the subject matter will find a lot to explore. It mentions that the game progresses through investigation reports submitted to the editor-in-chief, emphasizing a journalistic approach to uncovering the truth behind the mysteries. The developer, Birdman, is quoted discussing the game's level of detail and the amount of content prepared for players to explore, even hinting at branching storylines based on player choices. There's a funny side note mentioning a situation in the game where police might take 400 yen from the player's wallet. The next page continues the focus on The Unsolved, detailing the game's story setup. Matt Callahan, a reporter at Seaside News in Los Angeles, is in a bit of trouble at work and finds himself assigned to a special department dealing with strange cases, jokingly called the Junk Box. He's tasked with investigating an unsolved bizarre murder case that seems related to UFO phenomena and bizarre occurrences, aligning with the game's theme of unsolved mysteries. The article elaborates on the dialogue system, stating it's experience-based and that players immersed in UFO lore will find it easier to navigate and understand the game's nuances. It emphasizes the enjoyment of piecing together clues in this first-person adventure game, highlighting the personal connection players will form with the experience. Furthermore, the game allows players to argue against the existence of aliens, even incorporating elements like plasma weapons, and referencing Hollywood's portrayal of such themes, specifically mentioning movies like Independence Day. The developer, Birdman, stresses that every outcome in the game is treated as a valid truth, with branching storylines and investigation levels being dependent on the player's information gathering. He reiterates that the game is designed to feel like a mountain of information, offering a deep and engaging experience for players who enjoy unraveling complex mysteries. The Unsolved is an investigation-focused game exploring UFO phenomena employing a realistic approach with live-action footage. Players, as reporter Mac, will investigate unexplained deaths and occult murders, uncovering connections to strange phenomena and special groups. The investigation themes include cattle mutilations, specific locations, the Ted Boone case, and potential involvement with Ebe. The game features a branching narrative impacted by player choices and information gathering, leading to diverse outcomes. Players will engage in intense conversations with characters and potentially explore love simulation elements. The game aims to provide multiple perspectives on UFOs, offering a socially relevant and challenging experience, described as a Birdman project by producer Yoshimura Masanori. This page is all about exploring the internet for SEGA Saturn gamers. It's aimed at readers of SATURN Magazine and is titled Internet Exploration, declaring from manufacturer pages. The page expresses the desires to see, know, and meet through the internet in relation to gaming. It highlights that the internet is packed with elements to enjoy games even more, including the latest game info, behind-the-scenes stories, and even impromptu online matches. It emphasizes the internet's role in making the game world limitless. The page also showcases internet lab services, displaying what looks like promotional cards. There's a t-shirt with a large @ symbol, visually representing the internet and the possibilities it opens up for SEGA Saturn players. Essentially, it's promoting the internet as a way to enhance and expand the SEGA Saturn gaming experience. This page is an interview with voice actor Toru Furuya, famous for his roles in anime and video games like Amuro Ray in Mobile Suit Gundam, and other games such as Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, and Doki Doki Pretty League. He mentions he even does programming himself for his work. The interview focuses on his thoughts about the internet and its potential for gamers. Furuya talks about creating his own homepage and how it was easier than he expected. He enjoys the direct feedback from fans via email and shares that he's uploaded voice samples to his site, where you can hear his voice when you click on his representative works. He believes the internet should become as common as mobile phones and be user-friendly, allowing people to easily access game information. He envisions a future where gaming consoles are seamlessly connected online, enabling online battles. Furuya hopes the internet evolves into a media form as common as television and telephones, enriching people's lives and allowing for the free exchange of information. He encourages Saturn gamers to check out his homepage and experience the fun of the internet, promising to keep updating his site with the latest gaming news and interesting content. The page includes a photo of Furuya and a small screenshot of his personal homepage, which he uses to connect with fans. He ends by inviting Saturn readers to visit his homepage. This page is all about SEGA diving headfirst into the internet. It's showcasing SEGA's online presence, calling it SEGA Mania's Main Mountain, and advertising their homepage at http://www.sega.co.jp/. They're really pushing Saturn users to get online, saying it's the place to be for SEGA info beyond just video games, mentioning prize machines, karaoke, and even pachinko, emphasizing SEGA's broad entertainment scope. The page highlights SEGA's website Entertainment Universe, showing screenshots with sections like theme park, GameSoft, travel, cinema, music, and pachinko. It's presented as a central hub for all things SEGA. There's also a mention of SEGA Saga, which seems to be another online service by SEGA. They're also promoting the SEGA Saturn Magazine official homepage, describing it as a must-visit for Saturn fans. It's pitched as a reader-focused site with game information, cheat codes, staff blogs, and community interaction. The reviewer, Mr. Fuji from SEGA Enterprise's Internet Promotion Office, emphasizes the practicality and high quality of the information available on these online platforms, and encourages readers to check them out. It looks like SEGA is really trying to build a strong online community and resource for Saturn gamers. For SEGA Saturn fans, several websites offer valuable content. Bandai's website, Bandai Town, is a prime resource for Tamagotchi enthusiasts, providing the latest product information. Capcom's website for Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, caters to arcade game fans, covering the console and arcade versions. Stonk's Neo Geo Land is a must-visit for King of Fighters fans, featuring game info and events. The article also highlights the value of personal gaming homepages, encouraging users to create and explore them for unique perspectives and information not found on official sites. Two examples of dedicated Saturn fan websites are mentioned, one focusing on technical details and game data, and another offering game reviews with a unique viewpoint. This page showcases a variety of gaming websites and news updates from different companies, starting with Chunsoft, They're highlighting their website and teasing what game might be coming after Street, suggesting it's also a sound novel. Red Company's website is also featured, particularly for fans of Hiroi Oji and their games like Sakura Wars, with the reviewer mentioning personal pages and columns on the site. Atlas is promoting their website, teasing the next Megaten game, and highlighting Groove on Fight. It also mentions their website features Jack Frost and information on new titles like Groove on Fight and the Female Reincarnation series, which is likely referring to Shin Megami Tensei. In a column about internet gaming, Quake and MechWarrior are mentioned as examples of popular online games, highlighting the rise of online battles across genres like action, flight simulators, RPGs, and racing. The article notes international participation, but points out that Saturn can't unfortunately play these online games. Finally, Compile is promoting their website, focusing on Puyo Puyo, announcing a Puyo Puyo color game and tournaments. The site seems to offer schedules, new title information, and details on the Puyo Puyo main house and Compile Club. This page continues showcasing game company websites and internet content. Starting with Hudson, they highlight their homepage and mention Takahashi Meijin, also known as Master Higgins, as being featured. They hint at hidden pages to explore on their site. Next, Koei's website is presented as the stronghold of historical simulation games. They advertise their webpage with game information and even a game school. Human's website is also highlighted, described as having a pro wrestler image, and again mentions a game school run by the company that produces games. Imagineer's website is featured next, promoting their Sim series, emphasizing network capabilities and company information available online. Warashi promotes their site with information about their upcoming June release of a shooting game, Shikigami no Shiro, known as Castle Shikigami internationally, and staff recruitment. Konami's website is showcased, emphasizing new title inputs and highlighting Tokimeki Memorial fan clubs and related information. Acclaim Japan's website is advertised with the upcoming release of The Crow, City of Angels game, and mentioning their focus on overseas software. There's a column explaining Shockwave, describing it as a system to play simple games on web pages using Macromedia Director, with a sample game shown. Finally, the page concludes by stating that there are still more on the internet, encouraging readers to explore and buy a SEGA Saturn modem to experience the online world and discover more gaming information. This page talks about the global rise of Japanese characters and how the internet is the perfect place to connect with them. It mentions that the real fun of the internet is just beginning, and thanks to it, you can always meet your favorite game characters from around the world. The page features a section on Sakura Wars, highlighting its online presence with what seems to be fan-created websites showcasing the game. It suggests these sites are similar to the popularity of Sailor Moon and Magic Knight Ray Earth fan pages previously. The article wonders if Sakura Wars' popularity is reaching overseas audiences. Another section focuses on Evangelion news, directing readers to check out the website for voice actress Megumi Hayashibara, who voices Rei Ayanami, for her latest information. It even features a Megumi Hayashibara corner. Then, it emphasizes getting the latest Evangelion information from the Gainax Network System website. It shows screenshots of the website, listing sections like Gainax Cafe, Museum, Takeda, Post Office, Shopping, Anime, Diary, News, and Beverly Hills, suggesting a rich online experience for fans. Finally, there's a character introduction section with profiles for Neon Genesis Evangelion characters, Shinji Ikari, Misato Katsuragi, and Rei Ayanami, providing brief descriptions of each character's role and background in the anime. The page concludes by encouraging anime fans, especially those interested in Neon Genesis Evangelion, to explore the Gainax homepage, suggesting it's a must-visit for anyone feeling drawn to the series. This page is a guide to exploring the internet for fans of Japanese pop culture. It highlights websites dedicated to various interests, starting with Gundam. Fans can find information on new series and fan pages. Next, the article explores Tamagotchi, a digital pet phenomenon, and points to a site showcasing moving characters. The article then delves into Japanese anime, featuring a website created by a fan in America, offering character introductions and links to further content. Another section is about Connie Creechin from a children's TV show, providing fortune-telling information. The page also promotes Nippon Animation, showcasing anime like Dog of Flanders and Chibi Maruko-chan. Finally, it mentions Habitat 2, Velocia, an online world connecting seas and consoles, with character introductions and user guides. The overall message is that the internet expands the horizons for fans of these interests. This page is an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn game, Sea Bass Fishing 2. It's being promoted as an authentic fishing simulation game. The advert emphasizes the enhanced realism thanks to 3D graphics and improved controls, promising a thrilling lure fishing experience. It highlights the game's focus on sea bass fishing and mentions popular fishing gear brand Daiwa as a collaborator, even featuring a real-life fishing expert, Masami Murakoshi, who apparently supervised the game. The game boasts realistic visuals and fight scenes. The release date is listed as April 25th, with a price of 5,800 yen. Screenshots show various gameplay perspectives, including underwater views and fight scenes, and interface elements like depth and fight time. There's also a promotional campaign mentioned, suggesting players who buy Sea Bass Fishing 2 can win special Daiwa tackle. The advert promotes the game as the second in the series, and a definitive sea bass fishing simulation. This SEGA Saturn magazine page compiles reader submissions. One reader, busy with work and studying for exams, still plays games. Another recounts their Saturn game purchases over the past year, hoping for university acceptance. A 30-year-old student balances studying history with gaming, joking about Daytona and game difficulty. Additional sections include reader commentary on a game shop visit, a humorous story about dropping out of university, and opinions on submitted artwork. The magazine also features a reader surprised by the inclusion of their humorous submission about Dynamite Deca and looking for game recommendations. Artwork submissions showcase a Resident Evil image and mecha illustrations. The page fosters a sense of community through shared gaming experiences and opinions. This page celebrates fan devotion to SEGA Saturn game characters, showcasing reader submissions expressing admiration. Letters cover a range of characters. Honey from Fighting Vipers, including anecdotes about a pearl diving horse outfit, Jimmy Cools, described as a cool, kind-hearted troublemaker, and Izumo Ryoko, praised for her beauty and fighting style. Lion from Virtua Fighter receives fervent affection, including dreams of visiting France. Check out this girl fiction highlights a stylish character in a sailor uniform, hinting at future content. Girls Gossip Corner features opinions on Masked Jackie, with discussion on her appearance and potential connections to other characters, along with some mentions of Teacher 2 and AV-like scenes that are considered kawaii. The overall theme is the deep emotional connections players feel for their favorite game personalities. This text showcases reader feedback on gaming experiences. Players discuss limited edition games, desired arcade locations, and magazine availability. One reader anticipates baseball games, while another critiques lenient game reviews. Falcom Classics coming to Saturn is celebrated. North Wind and Sun and Cloud and Snow is recommended for its enjoyable gameplay and unique Saturn mode. A reader highlights the arcade experience of Virtua Cop with the Virtual Gun. Another humorously recounts a virtual stick purchase during exam season. Buying Guardian Heroes is considered. A collector contemplates purchasing Game Machine magazine. 2 comic strips depict humorous gaming scenarios, sound effects, and character selection dilemmas. Finally, a reader shares anecdotes about gaming with their sister, highlighting her fighting game skills and love for Daytona USA Circuit Edition and Digital Dance Mix. This page presents the Dream Museum section, showcasing reader-submitted fan art and comments. Eve Burst Error seems to be a popular subject, with one piece highlighted as this week's best one, praised for its clean line work and intriguing world. Another Eve artwork is also featured. The Kana Award goes to a drawing of a character resembling Lion from Virtua Fighter with a dog, lauded for its beauty. Other illustrations include a shoujo manga-style girl, a cute Puyo Puyo-themed artwork, and an occult action scene. A bunny girl character is described as having an undercover investigation theme, reminiscent of Achi's Janet-san, with fitting background tones. There's also a comic-style panel and a sexy Honey-chan character, noted for her alluring expression. Another artwork depicts a girl with guns, referencing Battlemania and highlighting the character Maria's large breasts and machine guns. The Dream Museum section encourages readers to send in artwork, manga, and funny stories. Software presents are mentioned, specifically Eve and Paradise Brothers 2. There's a call for submissions for the desired software questionnaire, asking readers to share what software they want regardless of drawing or writing skill. Submission guidelines are detailed, including address and contact information, emphasizing the need to write down desired software and submission guidelines. Watercolor and pencil sketches are discouraged for color entries. This page is a mail order advertisement from a shop called Santa, specializing in Sega games and hardware. It's basically a catalog page listing a massive selection of games and accessories available to purchase via mail or fax order. They've got pretty much everything Sega covered, from Saturn new releases and classics to Mega Drive, Mega CD, 32X, and even Game Gear titles. Looking at the Saturn new releases, titles like Graduation Real Time, Gleitzstein 96, Cyberdoll, and Metal Slug Ram are featured. Then in the Saturn Standard Software section, you can see big names like Daytona USACE, Virtua Fighter 2, Sakura Wars, and Guardian Heroes. They also stock a wide variety of Mega Drive games, including classics like Sonic, Streets of Rage, and Phantasy Star. It's a real treasure trove for Sega fans looking to fill out their collections, especially for those harder-to-find Japanese releases. Besides games, they're selling various peripherals for Mega Drive and Game Gear, like joysticks and accessories. The page also details how to order via phone or fax, payment methods like cash on delivery or bank transfer, and shipping costs. It's a complete mail order service for Sega enthusiasts. The Sega Saturn licensee space at Tokyo Game show 97 spring previews numerous games and events. Notable titles include Outrigger, with an event featuring Naomi Shindo, Sank's Samurai Spirits IV, and NEC Interchannel's Sentimental Graffiti. Capcom will host a Rockman, Mega Man stage event, while Konami presents over 20 software titles, including Tokimeki Memorial. Other highlights include Compile's Puyo Puyo Sun event, Sunsoft's photogenic booth and action game demos, and Kuei's stage shows. Daiichi, Taito, Chunsoft, Hudson, Masaya, Riverhill Soft, and Warp are also showcasing various games with events like quiz shows, game demos, and voice actor appearances. Warp promises a unique audio demo for Real Sound, K's No Regret. This page is an advertisement for Creative Human, a mail-order service for Sega Saturn games. It's promoting early bird pre-orders for April and May releases. Featured prominently are several games with screenshots and descriptions. Down Classmate is highlighted as an elf romance simulation game, priced at 7,800 yen, with a special pre-order price of 7,020 yen. Next is Mobile Suit Gundam, the Battlemaster 2, which is described as a Sega Saturn anime-style game with pre-order price of 7,020 yen. Then Waku Waku 7, a Sunsoft fighting game, is also featured with a pre-order price of 5,220 yen. There's a large list of featured Saturn software categorized into Special Saturn software and Saturn software. This list includes a wide variety of genres and titles, from RPGs like Riglord Saga and Dragon Force, to fighting games like Fighting Vipers and Virtua Fighter Kids, alongside adventure games and simulations. Prices are listed for each game. On the right side, there's a Complete Annihilation, April new release software section, and Reservation Accepted for May releases. April titles listed include Crovades 2, Angelique Special 2 Premium Box, Metal Slug, and Sankyo Fever Initial Limited Edition. May releases include Zero Yon Champ Duzige and Gudaburu Grand Heaven Extreme Pack. Prices are also listed for these below. This is an advertisement for New Membership Recruitment, offering a 5% discount and free delivery for orders over 10,000 yen for new members. It mentions easy sign-up by phone or fax. This Sega Saturn magazine excerpt highlights new Sega products and services. Sega Sonic features Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise, while New Century Evangelion showcases related goods. Virtua Fighter focuses on the game and digital camera advancements. Voice Lock-On introduces a voice-activated device. Pico Series promotes the Sega Pico Bina and other affordable educational products. Village Horse Ranch offers items for spring events, likely related to horse racing games. The magazine also advertises the Sega Video Magazine, featuring game footage, flash Sega Saturn lists, upcoming game titles, with demo opportunities. Sega Fax Club and Sega Joy Joy Telephone offer information via fax and automated phone services, respectively. Content is updated monthly. Finally, the magazine provides the addresses for Sega's internet homepage and the Game Busters website. This page features a column titled, Let's Game Music, by Jun Urayama from Sega's CS Development. He talks about his work on game music, mentioning titles like Daytona USA Circuit Edition, and Victory Goal 96. He expresses joy in creating game music and appreciates fan feedback through various channels, such as internet and radio. Looking ahead, he mentions upcoming projects such as Victory Goal 97 and another Daytona USA Circuit Edition soundtrack. There is a short piece reflecting on the changing seasons and anticipation for spring, mentioning SEGA consumer shows. The SEGA Public Relations Bulletin Board section includes several shorter articles. Southern Cloud-kun recounts attending the 97 Tokyo Toy Show, highlighting the variety of toys and SEGA's presence, expressing excitement for future game events. Game Mikey humorously discusses the unreliability of facts for urgent information, preferring phone calls, and shares a thought about limited food options in local convenience stores. New gamer Nane Shinjo reviews Sakura Wars Flower Group column, enjoying it, and other titles like Cinderella Mode and Lips. She asks readers if they are playing Flower Group vs. Group Warfare column, and mentions listening to Iris's song from Sakura Wars while playing. Finally, there's a Postcard Big Recruitment section inviting reader submissions and a "This time, this is it" box announcing a giveaway of original Sakura Wars Hot-Blooded column postcards. This page is a SEGA Saturn software databank, providing a comprehensive list of games released between November 1994 and March 1997. It's designed as a reference for players looking to understand the range of software available for the SEGA Saturn. The page is structured with tables, categorized by release month starting from November 1994 and going through to November 1995. Each entry in the table includes details such as the game title, the manufacturer, price, genre, reviewer scores, and compatible peripherals like control pads, joysticks, or mice. Games listed include titles like Virtua Fighter, Wanchai Connection, Daytona USA Circuit Edition, Puzzle Bobble, Gotha Ismay's Ship Battle, Pebble Beach Golf Links, Darius Gaiden, Galaxy Force 2, Side Pocket 2, Assault Suit Lanos 2, Virtual Hydlide, Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, and many more across various genres like action, adventure, RPG, sports, and puzzle. The reviewer scores offer insight into the magazine's opinion of each game at the time of release. The page functions as a valuable catalog, helping players track SEGA Saturn releases and their initial reception. This page continues the SEGA Saturn Software Databank, cataloging games released from December 1995 through April 1996. It's structured as a detailed listing, showcasing the variety of software hitting the SEGA Saturn during this period. Genres are diverse, with action, adventure, RPGs, sports, and puzzle games all represented. Notable titles include entries in the Virtua Fighter, C.G. Portrait series, and sports games like NFL Quarterback Club. Puzzle fans might be interested in Baku Baku Animal, and strategy enthusiasts will find titles listed as well. The magazine continues to provide a snapshot of the Saturn's game library, offering details like pricing, genre, and their own review scores for players looking to explore or understand the breadth of Saturn software from this era. The tabular format persists, making it easy to quickly scan and reference game information. This page continues with the SEGA Saturn Software Databank, showcasing more game releases from the same period. It's presented in the same detailed table format, giving an overview of various titles released for the Saturn. The page lists a wide array of games across different genres, including action titles like Deep Fear and Batsugun, puzzle games such as Puzzle Bobble 2X, and racing games. There are also titles like Clockwork Knight 2 and Tri-Rush Deppy listed amongst many others. The table includes details such as the game makers, prices, genres, and the magazine's review scores, offering a snapshot of the software available for SEGA Saturn owners during this time. The focus remains on providing a catalog of games with key information for players interested in exploring the Saturn's library from this era. This page continues the software databank, showcasing a large collection of SEGA Saturn games. We see even more titles listed in the familiar table format, covering a wide range of genres. Games mentioned include action titles like Fighters Megamix, Street Racer Extra, and Batsugun, which was also on the previous page. There are puzzle games, such as Puzzle Bobble 3 and Tetris S, and RPGs like Tactics Ogre. Racing games like Daytona USA Circuit Edition and Sega Rally Championship are also present. Titles like Deep Fear and Clockwork Knight 2 reappear from the previous page, indicating this section is a continuation of the same software listing. The page provides details like game genres, manufacturers, and review scores from the magazine, giving players a snapshot of the available software for the SEGA Saturn at the time and the critics' opinions. This page continues the databank index, and we see even more SEGA Saturn titles listed. It's essentially a directory of games, alphabetized in Japanese order. There's a huge number of titles here, spanning many genres. Looking through, we can spot games like Super Casino Special, Starfighter 3000, and titles in the Street Fighter Zero series. We also have licensed games like Space Jam. The Sega Ages series is listed, along with adventure games such as Zork I. It's a very dense page, packed with game names and software numbers, acting as a comprehensive index for players at the time. This section is really about cataloging the extensive library of games available for the Sega Saturn. It's designed as a reference, so players could quickly find the software number for a game they were interested in, likely for ordering or referencing other parts of the magazine. It's a really thorough resource for Saturn owners. This page continues the game index from the previous page, and it's still a packed list of Sega Saturn games and their corresponding software numbers. It seems to be a continuation of the alphabetical listing, moving through more titles. Looking at the games, we can see a wide variety here, from Hyper Revertheon and Hyper Security to fighting games like Fighters Megamix and Fighting Illusion-esque 1 Grand Prix. There are racing games such as Rayman and Race Drive-In. We also see puzzle games like Columns, Arcade Collection, and other genres represented. It's largely a continuation of the comprehensive game list, offering a reference for Saturn owners. The page is densely filled with game titles, acting as a detailed directory of the Sega Saturn software library for players in Japan at the time. It's all about providing a complete and easy-to-use guide for anyone looking to find a particular Saturn game. This guide explains how to complete a questionnaire postcard for a magazine. The front requires personal details like name, address, and a message. The back features a questionnaire to be filled out using a black ballpoint pen with Arabic numerals, 1 character per box. The questionnaire gathers reader demographics, gender, age, occupation, Sega Saturn game ownership, magazine reading habits, and feedback on the current issue. It also explores internet usage. A key section focuses on hardware and software preferences. Readers are asked about their current and planned Sega Saturn hardware, using a hardware list, and to select up to 10 desired Sega Saturn games from a provided software list. Table 1 lists articles, Table 2 features hardware, and Table 3 offers a game selection. This page showcases the latest Sega Saturn game releases and upcoming titles. Under the new release title banner, they are spotlighting recently launched games, including PGA Tour 97, the quirky action title Rabid, Japanese Mahjong League official Dojo Breaking, and what seems to be narrative-driven titles like Black Chapter, Reverse Scale Bullet, My Dream Can't Wait For On Air, Free Talk Studio, Mari's Carefree Chat, and Funky Head Boxers Plus. Moving to the coming soon soft section, we get a peek at highly anticipated games expected this spring. The list is packed with diverse titles such as The Dating Sim Underclassmen, a puzzle game described as Falling Game Designer Made Pawn, The Mysterious Tokyo Shadow, and Quo Vadis 2 Planetary Assault Ovan Ray. Also mentioned are Seabass Fishing 2, Falcom Classics, New Theme Park, Mahjong Emperor Battle Cosplayer, Voice Idol Maniacs Pool Burst Story, Zero Yan Champ Doozy Typer, Angelique Special 2, Dark Hunter Upper Other Dimension Academy, Amok, Sankyo Fever Real Machine Simulation Buzz, and finally, Actua Golf. The page is visually dominated by a large, colorful anime illustration of a girl character. This page is dedicated to PGA Tour 97 on the Sega Saturn. It's highlighted as a new release where you can play on real PGA Tour courses against top pros. The game aims to be accessible to beginners by showing ball trajectory and distances on screen, and it also has TV-style presentation to make it feel like you're watching a real broadcast. There are 2 courses featured, TPC Sawgrass and Spyglass Hill, each described with their unique features and challenges. The page then details 5 different game modes to enjoy, including practice, stroke play, skins game, tournament, and shootout. Another interesting feature is the ability to create your own custom golfer, where you can edit their appearance and even choose their preferred play style and clubs. The screenshots showcase the gameplay, course layouts, and the player customization options. It seems like a pretty comprehensive golf simulation for the Saturn. This page introduces 2 very different games. At the top we have Rago Princess Rabbit, a new action fighting game with a Chinese-inspired world setting. It's described as a cute and chaotic battle game, where characters are like beast gods, and you can unleash special beast god attacks by filling a gauge and inputting commands. These are powerful moves that deal big damage and can even boost your attack power for a limited time. The reviewer highlights the variety of attacks using button and lever combinations, and the diverse cast of characters, ranging from young girls to wolf-like figures. They seem to think the beast god system is a fresh idea, and the characters are appealing. Then, switching gears completely, the bottom half of the page covers Japan Pro Mahjong Federation Official Recognition Road Breaking, a mahjong game focused on playing against professional mahjong players. It boasts data from 50 pro players and 1 million recorded hands. There are two main modes: Research Mode, where you can replay pro player hands, and Road Breaking Mode, where you challenge pros in a dojo breaking style format. The game seems to emphasize learning from and competing against these pros, with detailed records and rankings. The reviewer notes that the game lets you adjust settings and even automate reach calls for easier play. They highlight the road breaking mode as a way to test your skills against pros and improve your mahjong game. This page highlights 3 upcoming games. Kuro no Danshu, a horror-adventure game for PC, plunges players into a Cthulhu-inspired mystery. As a memory loss detective, you'll unravel serial killings, experiencing a suspenseful drama before shifting to an American setting. The game features beautiful CG graphics and dynamic sound design. Gyaki Tandu, a Saturn-bound arcade shooter, offers classic vertical gameplay with shots and bombs. Players select from 3 ships, battling transforming bosses in single or 2-player mode. Finally, My Dream on Air Gamate Kunakute is a voice actor training simulation. Guide 8 aspiring voice actresses by scheduling activities, offering advice, and fostering relationships to boost their skills and careers. This page showcases 2 games. First up is Free Talk Studio Mari no Kimama na Oshaberi, a simulation game where you step into the shoes of a new announcer named Kunitachi Mariko. Your goal is to produce a hit DJ show by choosing 3 guests from a cast of 4 unique characters and managing their whims. It's coming in 2 package versions, red and blue, with each including different premium goodies like photo booklets and premium cards. They're even running a present campaign for buyers, with prizes like promo videos and signed merchandise from the voice actresses Kunitachi Mari and Kawai Nanayami. Next we have Funky Head Boxers Plus, which is described as a hilarious and upgraded boxing game. It seems they've boosted the fun factor with new elements like dodging and strategic battles, and they've even tweaked the difficulty so it's enjoyable for everyone. You can go head-to-head in 2-player mode, and it looks like it's all about comical boxing action, with over-the-top moves and characters. The reviewer seems to think it's a great party game. Kakyusei is a dating sim set in Rabbit Month Academy, a high school where the player, a third-year student, will spend their time. The game focuses on interacting with girls at the academy and in the surrounding town, with various locations both inside and outside of the 5-story academy building. Players will explore the academy, but must be mindful of the 6 p.m. gate closure. A key gameplay mechanic is the continuous passage of time, requiring careful time management. Players can visit girls at their homes after school, indicating a focus on relationship building. Screenshots showcase dialogue and interaction menus, highlighting the game's romantic elements. The reviewer emphasizes the unique challenge of managing time to avoid missing opportunities for connection and relationship development. This text explores key locations and characters within the dating sim Kakyusei at Rabbit Month Academy. The health room offers advice from Shizuka-sensei, potentially guiding a character named Mayumi-san on relationships. The principal's office, typically off-limits, houses Mayumi Makoto, who is depicted as skipping class and comfortable with intimacy. Class 1A is where you can meet Nanako-chan, a tennis club member, either in class or at the club, especially after school. Lastly, the art room is occupied by Ryoko-chan, a focused artist. The text also provides a school floor plan, highlighting the locations of these characters, offering a guide to navigating the game. This guide details events within Kakyusei's Rabbit Month Academy, focusing on character interactions across floors. Players should navigate classrooms, music rooms, and broadcast rooms, being mindful of event timings. The third-year class is central, offering interactions with friends and girls, including the significant transfer student, Tina. Specific locations and characters are highlighted. Second-year B class features Misuzu, the visual education room, Junko, the broadcasting room, Jinguji-sensei, the music room, Reina, and the third-year B class, Miko. The game encourages exploration, and unexpected encounters. The Rabbit Month Academy offers several locations for players to interact with girls and build relationships. The rooftop provides a chance to engage girls lost in thought. The schoolyard, including the grounds, tennis court, pool, classrooms, gymnasium, and school gate, especially the centennial cedar tree, is ripe with after-school activity and evening events. The tennis court features characters like Rincho and Nana, hinting at tennis-related events. The gymnasium focuses on basketball club activities and character interactions, with a girl named Miko. Classrooms offer less frequent but crucial special scenes and interactions. The school gate and its centennial cedar serve as a backdrop for romantic confessions. This page introduces Okij Designer, which translates to Falling Game Designer, a puzzle construction game for the SEGA Saturn where you can create your own falling block puzzle games. It's touted as letting you create the future of falling puzzle games with your own hands. Developed by Pack&Soft, it's scheduled for release in June for 5,800 yen and is described as a puzzle construction game with two-player versus mode suitable for all ages. The page also announces the winners of an idea contest for the game, stating, "Idea contest winners decided. Announcing them now." It explains that many puzzle game enthusiasts sent in intense ideas via postcards, filled with text, illustrations, and passionate theories about falling block puzzles. The winning ideas are being implemented into the game, specifically mentioning that ideas for erasing rules and block patterns are currently being finalized and will be available in the game. Screenshots show the game's interface, including a pixel art editor for creating game elements, and menus with options for game modes and drop types. The developer mentions they will be at the Tokyo Big Sight Game Show in early April, giving away posters and postcards featuring the character Elfaria. This page details the winning ideas from the Okij Designer Idea Contest. The page announces numerous ideas chosen from many entries and showcases 3 adopted ideas that will be implemented into the game. The first winning idea, titled Filling is Winning Rule, flips the traditional falling block game concept, making the goal to fill the playfield to the top rather than clearing lines. This is presented as a fresh, reverse-thinking approach to the genre. The idea creator is Okamoto Kazuaki from Okayama Prefecture. The second adopted idea introduces items that reverse stacked blocks. This item, called Honten, or inversion, flips the currently stacked blocks upside down, adding a new strategic layer. The item settings are shown, and the idea comes from Kaneko Yoshiaki from Gifu Prefecture. Finally, the third idea focuses on setting the time from block falling to fixation. This allows players to adjust the delay after a block lands before it becomes fixed, offering greater control and strategic depth. The settings screen shows options for adjusting this fixation time. This idea was submitted by Araki Toichi from Shiga Prefecture. The page emphasizes how these ideas will add new dimensions and fun to the game. This page is giving us an update on the development of their Coming Soon soft title, and it looks like it's shaping up nicely. They've taken reader feedback and ideas into account, and development is progressing smoothly, specifically mentioning the Okij Designer Contest and the winning ideas from the previous page. The page walks us through the game creation process, starting with the main menu. It highlights the basic game screen settings where you can adjust things like background colors, the number of falling blocks, and the falling speed and gravity. Next, they delve into block design and settings, showing off the pixel art editor for creating your own block graphics and choosing color palettes. They also mention that for more detailed settings, there are 10 types of icons to choose from. These icons cover a wide range of customizable elements like blocks themselves, the playfield, game rules, stages, items, title screens, sound effects, controls, file options, and even ending sequences. It sounds like you can really fine-tune every aspect of your game. Finally, they're showcasing an easy mode for beginners. This mode seems designed to get new users started quickly, with sample games and user-friendly menus. It looks like a great way for anyone to jump in and start creating their own falling block games without getting overwhelmed. This page is an advertisement for the SEGA Saturn game, Tokyo Shadow. It's described as a movie novel-style adventure game with multiple scenarios and endings set in Shibuya. The page emphasizes the game's deep story and mysteries hidden within the Shibuya streets. We get introductions to several characters, including the protagonist, Hiroki, a normal young man, the heroine, Kyoko Takashiro, Hiroki's lover, Ayumi Iranoen, Catherine S. Barn, Gehenna, a magic shop owner, Sarah, and other mysterious figures like Kojiro Takashiro, and a detective. The game's plot involves ancient demons called Megiddo, sealed beneath Shibuya, and the story unfolds around events triggered 50 years prior. The player is tasked with solving mysteries and rescuing Kyoko, who gets caught up in these strange occurrences. The game boasts 5 main scenarios and a 100% completion rate, suggesting multiple playthroughs to see everything. Intriguingly, there's even a scenario where everyone can survive, though it's said to be challenging to unlock and requires completing scenarios 1, 2, and 3 first, then visiting the magic shop and defeating Gehenna to escape. The page also shows a chapter map suggesting a branching narrative structure. This page showcases Planetary Assault Van Ray Kvavadis 2, which looks like a deep sci-fi simulation RPG from the Kvavadis series. The page proudly states it's at 100% completion. The manufacturer's message mentions that Kvavadis 2 related goods are also available, and lists a strategy/setting book, a music/drama CD, and a gold telecard. It also provides information about the game itself, mentioning it's an SF simulation RPG for 1 player, costing 6,800 yen and coming on 2 credrons. The article emphasizes the game's structure, highlighting it's composed of 8 parts. It describes the game flow from the opening to the ending, stating that each part is a mission on a different planet. These parts are listed as Opening, Terror Invasion, Assault on each planet, Secret Factory Assault, Planet Az, Assault on each planet, Inner Solar System Suppression, Planet Orig, and finally, the General Offensive to the Core. The article suggests that the game's full story and mysteries unfold across these 8 parts, leading to a conclusive ending once all parts are cleared. It also notes that the opening part serves as a tutorial for new players to learn the game's controls and mechanics, like unit movement. The page also features in-game screenshots showing battlefield scenarios, user interface elements, and some tactical information display. These visuals give a glimpse into the game's strategic gameplay and visual style. This guide for Planetary Assault Van Ray Kvavadis 2 provides gameplay strategies. Part 1 serves as a tutorial, emphasizing basic combat and weapon customization. General mission tactics, stress terrain utilization. Forests and cities are ideal for defense, and movement is crucial. Smoke is a key tactical tool for obscuring movement. Missions, in parts 2, 3, 5, and 6, take place on 6 planets: Orig, Vandaka, Jeel, Mail, Yamsuk, and Badra, with diverse environments. Players choose the order. Team size increases from Part 2, necessitating effective management, though deployment strategy remains with the player. The guide hints at the arrival of the G.O.A, Army's powerful GX unit, promising challenging encounters. This page details Parts 4 and 7 of Assault Suit Lanos 2, outlining key mission objectives and gameplay tips. Part 4 focuses on infiltrating a secret G.O.A Army factory on planet Asaju. It's divided into 2 parts. First, destroying the factory entrance by carefully approaching and using powerful lasers. And second, planting bombs inside the factory, where Udavin will reunite with Hilda after a decade. Part 7 shifts to planet Orig, which is in civil war, requiring the player to quell an internal rebellion. Missions include seizing control towers using felon and mortal assault suits and escorting workers from a building, potentially a trap. The page emphasizes utilizing supply points, marked as Scorpio Alpha, on the map, to repair and resupply units, especially in semi-Siberian terrains. It also advises players to frequently check for new and improved weapons at supply points, highlighting the importance of adapting weapon choices to mission requirements and enemy types. A mission debriefing screen is shown, displaying mission time, enemy kills, ally status, experience gained, rank, pilot and assault suit details, and weapon loadout, including the 20 Saltap lightweight weapon used by Urolovan Felon. The page stresses the strategic use of supply points and weapon selection for mission success. This page continues the coverage of Assault Suit Lanos 2, focusing on the final stages of the game and the campaign against planet Goa. The first operation is a space battle, with the goal of taking out the G.O.A orbital fortress. The mission is divided into 3 phases. The initial phase is a space battle targeting the G.O.A orbital fortress. The second phase involves infiltrating the fortress, with the objective of destroying the central control, using the elite Red Wolf Squadron to neutralize enemy air power. The final phase is described as a massive ground battle in the capital city of GOA. A decisive clash between the GX Corps and the Red Wolf Squadron. A gigantic boss enemy called the Red Armor will appear, and the battle will take place in the same location as an event from 10 years prior in the game's lore. The page also highlights the design of the G.O.A military's giant battleship, the Goa One, revealing that Kazutaka Miyatake, known for his work on iconic anime like Space Battleship Yamato and Macross, is responsible for its design. It mentions that Miyatake is a veteran mechanical designer known for intricate designs, and that his skills are evident in Goth of Wadius 2 as well, implying his involvement in other games of that era. This page showcases Sea Bass Fishing, a new game that aims to realistically simulate sea lure fishing. The game boasts action-packed fights with fish and beautiful polished graphics, promising a visually rich experience. The game is advertised as 90% complete. The developer's message mentions the pleasant weather and suggests enjoying fishing at home during Golden Week in April and May, implying the game's release timeframe. The page then dives into the Amateur Tournament mode, described as the main game mode. Players will need to check conditions like weather and time before preparing their tackle. The tournament rules include the types of fish targeted, like sea bass and flatfish, the fishing method, and time limits. Besides the tournament, there are other modes. Fishing Lecture seems to be a tutorial mode, where players can learn fishing basics and tips. Free Fishing Mode allows for more relaxed and gameplay, letting players fish as they like in various settings. Finally, the page emphasizes the variety of fish available, showcasing examples like sea bass, flatfish, and mackerel, along with their size and weight within the game. It highlights that players will be able to catch many different types of fish beyond just sea bass. The Sea Bass Fishing Guide details gameplay, focusing on strategic lure and location choices. Winning tournaments requires targeting big fish sea bass, defined as 50 to 60 centimeters. Ideal fishing spots feature underwater obstacles. Amateur tournaments prioritize total fish weight, encouraging a larger catch. For improvement, players should utilize the in-game Fishing Lecture mode. The guide concludes with a fish profile section, highlighting various species like rockfish, barracuda, and yellowtail, with size and weight information, indicating a diverse fishing experience. This page introduces Falcom Classics, a compilation title set to revive some of Falcom's most celebrated games. The focus is on graphical enhancements, with the article showing off updated screenshots from the included Dragon Slayer titles. This compilation packs in 3 significant Falcom games: YS, Xanadu, and of course Dragon Slayer. The article highlights gameplay details for Dragon Slayer, describing it as an action RPG experience, where players collect items and magic to improve their characters' abilities. It even delves into the history of the original Dragon Slayer game, released way back in 1985, acknowledging its impact on the action RPG genre. This collection is scheduled to be released in November by Victor and Nihon Falcom. This page continues the look at Falcom Classics and focuses on Xanadu, Dragon Slayer 2. It emphasizes the graphical overhaul for the Saturn version, showing side-by-side screenshots that highlight the cleaner visuals compared to the original. The article points out details like shop locations, where you can enhance your character's abilities and purchase initial equipment. It delves into the gameplay, mentioning exploring dungeons and aiming to raise your character level. The piece also touches upon the history of the original Xanadu, stating that it was a massive hit back in June 1987, selling beyond expectations for a PC game. The review emphasizes the game's focus on fun and depth, which resonated strongly with players at the time and led to significant user support. The article briefly mentions YS as well, noting that its visual style in this compilation is close to the PC Engine version, referring to the Falcom Classic special disc that includes game footage and materials. This disc is expected to be sold separately and should be available in a set of 2. The reviewer suggests pre-ordering if you are interested. Theme Park is a fully complete, single-player simulation game where players manage their own amusement park, aiming to become the ultimate theme park tycoon. Released on April 11th for 5,800 yen, the game is designed for all ages and emphasizes user feedback, particularly in roller coaster design. The core gameplay revolves around developing the park and enjoying its scenery. The page highlights 4 attractions: the Haunted Mansion, durable, capacity of 6; the Merry-Go-Round, a classic, capacity of 5; the Great Wheel, Ferris wheel, great for couples, capacity of 7, and the Fantasy Castle, large scale, capacity of 7. Players can upgrade attractions, increasing capacity and durability through a menu that also allows adjustments to price, speed, and operating hours, impacting customer satisfaction. This page recommends 4 key attractions for theme park. Inferno offers thrills through a burning building but has low durability. Dome Zero, a non-Big Force experience, provides pure fun with high excitement and durability. Hammer Swing is another exciting, durable ride. Lastly, Super Spinner, a classic high-speed rotor ride, is a popular and profitable choice due to its high excitement and durability, coupled with a reasonable price. The page also includes trivia about accelerating attraction development through research investment. It emphasizes the need to continuously introduce new attractions to maintain customer satisfaction, especially at higher park levels, recommending a balance between investment and assets. Finally, it lists other fun attractions available, such as boat rides and roller coasters, highlighting the game's variety. This page focuses on Jante Battle Cosplayer, a mahjong game with a unique twist. It seems to be set in a future where cosplay mahjong tournaments are all the rage in Neola's Vegas. You play as a protagonist aiming to win these tournaments, collecting costumes from defeated opponents. The page highlights the game's appeal as a cosplay and transformation experience, emphasizing the fun of dressing up cute anime girls in different costumes. It mentions story mode and a free mode where you can select girls and battle it out. Voice acting is a selling point, with AIC being involved in production. The game is designed for comfortable 4-player play, with a user-friendly interface even for mahjong beginners. There's a section explaining that if you win at the top position, your opponent will cosplay as you, and if you come in last, your cosplayer will be taken by the opponent. This adds a fun competitive element to collecting costumes. The screenshot shows a mahjong game in progress, with menus for gameplay options like Game End, Claim Run, Claim Chi, and others. It looks like a light-hearted and engaging mahjong experience. Jante Battle Cosplayer features a story mode where players battle to become the top cosplayer, stealing opponents' costumes upon victory. The game progresses through several areas, beginning with 3 initial locations, then unlocking access to the VIP Club. Defeating the VIP Club's strongest cosplayers, Suzuki Kaze-ryo, Yano Ayame, and Juji Reina, grants the title of Emperor. Losing leads to a dark street and potentially a game over. Winning allows players to collect costumes, upgrade their robot, and advance. Areas include Rouge Magic with idol-like characters, Moontrap with diverse cosplayers, Venus with ninja cosplayers, Garage Pankotsu, Lucky Street, and Club Indigo. Upon completing story mode, the free mode changes to a panel game, a matching game to unlock character movies and artwork, with a bingo bonus game included. This page introduces Voice Idol Maniac's Pool Bar Story, a SEGA Saturn game centered around billiards, where you can date voice idols if you win. It mentions that there are 2 CDs included, with the second CD containing movie footage of the voice actors. The game features 6 types of billiards games which you can choose from. These include classic games like 8-ball and 9-ball, alongside less common ones like 14.1 continuous, 1 pocket, rotation, and billiards. The page also shows screenshots for each of these game modes, briefly explaining the rules for each type, such as in 1 pocket where you need to pocket balls in a designated pocket to score points, and rotation, where you aim for the lowest numbered balls first. It highlights the date mode where you can play against these voice idols, and go on outdoor dates if you win. The reviewer seems enthusiastic about the concept of combining billiards with dating voice idols. This page goes further into the game modes of Voice Idol Maniac's Pool Bar Story, starting with Date Mode, which, as mentioned previously, lets you play billiards against one of 8 voice idols and go on dates with them if you win. It mentions that these dates might even be outdoors, in places like mountains. The page also details a tournament mode where all 8 voice idols participate. You join the tournament, and if you win against one voice idol, you advance to face the others. Then there's Trick Mode, which is described as a mode where you're not competing against the idols but testing your own billiard skills. It seems to be a puzzle mode, with 16 challenges in total, testing your technique, power control, and aiming. The page highlights key points for mastering Trick Mode, showcasing different billiards techniques, like mash shots, jump shots, draw shots, and English, side spin. These are presented with diagrams showing how to perform each shot, emphasizing the importance of understanding angles and cue ball control to clear the trick shots. It looks like mastering these techniques will be useful in other game modes too. 04 Champ Doozy J-Typer is a remix game blending drag racing with dating sim and minigame elements. Slated for a May release at 6,800 yen, the game is 85% complete. Players compete in 400-meter drag races to become the Zero-Yan champion, while navigating a love simulation with various minigames. A core mechanic is the partner system, where players choose from 8 internationally beautiful women to assist with car tuning. These potential partners include Natsuki, Wendy, Pony, Rally, Belge, Laffy, Arami, and Keeler, each with unique backgrounds. The game challenges players to balance racing and romance, with the relationships impacting gameplay. Screenshots suggest scenes of character interactions, dating, racing, and minigame segments. The next page dives deeper into 04 Champ Doozy J-Typer, highlighting the game's structure and progression. The goal is to become the 04-Yan champion by traveling across America. You'll meet a bunch of women, choosing one as your partner to help you with car tuning, which is crucial. The game revolves around a weekly schedule system. You need to plan your days to include dating your partner and earning money through part-time jobs, which are actually minigames. This money is then used to buy car parts in the shop for upgrades. Tuning isn't just about parts. Your chosen partner directly influences the tuning outcomes, making your relationship choices meaningful. Once you've prepped your ride, you head to official races. You start in E-Class and aim to climb up to D-Class and beyond. The page mentions 14 of the latest domestic cars are in the game, and you can upgrade them with parts like turbos and intercoolers, or by engine tuning and weight reduction. There's also talk of random happenings that can occur, adding unexpected events to the storyline. This is the 5th game in the Zero-Yan Champ series on Saturn, building upon the previous PC Engine and Super Famicom titles, focusing on deep customization to create your ultimate machine. Ultimately, winning races comes down to your driving technique and skillful gear changes, but a well-tuned car, thanks to your partner, is essential. Angelique Special 2, a neo-romance game launching April 4th, introduces a Queen exam priced at 7,800 yen, standard, or 9,800 yen, box set. The game centers on Angelique, described as serious and realistic, and her ability to perceive a mysterious holy beast that grows by absorbing the guardian saint's power. Players must understand the beast's will. New instructors appear in the second training stage: Victor, Mountain Sheep Palace; Saren, Water Bottle Palace; and Timka, Maiden Palace, teach Angelique about qualities and resources. The game hints at a significant event related to Smolny's divine will and the creation of the universe, when the beast sphere lights up 6 times. The second stage promises deeper instructor relationships, romantic developments, and exciting gameplay enhancements. Screenshots showcase lessons and classroom scenes. Dark Hunter, a SEGA Saturn adventure game launching April 4th, aims to teach English through engaging gameplay. Players explore a mysterious school as one of 3 characters, Makoto, Ran, or Shell, each offering a unique perspective on the unfolding narrative, which involves puzzle solving and bizarre incidents. The game utilizes animation drama with switchable English/Japanese audio and subtitles. The game features customizable settings for icon displays, language, and audio. Scenarios adapt based on the chosen protagonist, focusing on themes like illusion, revenge, or bounty hunting. Screenshots showcase dialogue choices, puzzles, and a check system for comprehension. Reviewers praise its appeal for language learning, making English less daunting. The game prioritizes an enjoyable story experience, featuring well-known Japanese voice actors. Dark Hunter is presented as an accessible and entertaining method for learning English. Amok is a SEGA Saturn 3D polygon shooter where players are mercenary pilots engaging in strategic combat. The game features diverse missions with intense battles. Mission 1, Destroy the Transmitter, involves destroying enemy installations in a desert. Mission 2, Attack the city with guided missiles, and Occupy the city and destroy it, focuses on city destruction using missiles and bombs. Mission 3, Pursue and chase the runaway boat, and Access the underwater fortress, offers sea and underwater combat against a runaway boat and in an underwater fortress, respectively. The game supports 2-player cooperative mode and includes hidden areas with secret items. A review praises the dark hero in action, though. A mock is 80% complete, with a June 20th release date and a price of 5,800 yen. This page is all about the Sankyo Fever Real Machine Simulation S, a game that perfectly recreates Sankyo pachinko machines on the Sega Saturn. It boasts a full 100% completion and promises to let you experience the thrill of real pachinko machines right at home. It highlights that this game is for all pachinko fans, especially those who love Yume Maruchan. The game includes a battle pachinko system, where you can enjoy various types of pachinko machines and even battle against the CPU or another player in split-screen mode. There's a feature called Pin Adjustment, which lets you fine-tune the pachinko machine settings to your liking. The page details 6 different pachinko machines included in the simulation. CR Fever Beach, a colorful and slightly adult-themed machine from '96. CR Fever Big Powerful FX, known for its continuous chain chances. Fever 9 General SP, a digital pachinko machine with short time shortening function. Missile 776D, a revival of the General Electric Super Combo. Aquaman SP, a 2-stage lottery machine. And Carrot Boy, a very orthodox Hagane mono machine. Each machine has a brief description of its key features and gameplay style. The page emphasizes that this software includes 6 different types of crossing machines to Kenzimono machines. This page introduces Action Golf for the Sega Saturn, emphasizing its freedom in shot selection and varied camera angles to enjoy golf from different perspectives. It highlights that the game lets you choose from golfer view, behind golfer view, and bird's eye view. The page details the shot screen, explaining elements like wind direction and power, shot controller for timing and accuracy, and predicted trajectory to help plan your shots. It also points out the game's shot controller and predicted trajectory features, showing how they aid in aiming and shot planning. A section is dedicated to play modes, mentioning there are 8 different modes in total, including stroke play, match play, and tournament modes, and even a money-based mode. The game is described as beginner-friendly due to its replay features, allowing players to review shots from various angles. A small box provides a reviewer's comment, praising the game as user-friendly and enjoyable, mentioning it's a great fit for those familiar with Famicom-era games, though the game itself might be quite challenging. It also lists the game's release date as April 4th, price is 5,800 yen, and mentions it supports 12 players and is for all ages. This page is a guide for Sega Saturn software. It showcases a dramatic image of fighter planes soaring through the sky above a tank, suggesting a focus on war-themed games. The page highlights upcoming sections covering specific titles. It teases Advanced World War, Millennium Empire no Kubu, on page 116, likely a strategy or simulation game given the title and imagery. Page 118 will feature Sakura Wars Columns 2, a puzzle game spin-off from the popular Sakura Wars series. Lastly, page 120 will cover Cyberbots Full Metal Madness, the high-octane mech fighting game from Capcom. The guide appears to be picking up popular and talked-about titles for Sega Saturn owners. Advanced World War, Millennium Empire no Kubu, on Sega Saturn offers a deep historical simulation experience. Players aim to rewrite history through intricate strategic gameplay, centered on securing cities, crucial for supply and unit movement. The game departs from earlier WA-Great strategy titles, particularly in its supply rules. Scenario number 14, Across the Caucasus, presents a hypothetical invasion of the Soviet Union, utilizing older tank models, but still offering engaging combat. Players must strategically use Rommel's forces and their own units to capture key control points across a large map. Scenario number 27, Astrakhan Capture Battle, features powerful Soviet units with newer tanks, challenging players to manage limited resources effectively. The enemy's use of indirect fire necessitates cautious tactics. Fast-moving units are recommended. The game also features a variety of units, including British tanks, and emphasizes the importance of air power and supply, though battles are enjoyable even without relying heavily on air support. This page delves into scenario number 16, the Battle of Alexandria, from the Sega Saturn game Advanced World War, Millennium Empire no Kubu. The stage is described as a major challenge in the North African campaign, focusing on capturing Alexandria by breaking through British fortifications called Torchka forests. The strategy highlighted is to initially target coastal cities with fewer defenses before pushing towards Alexandria itself. A key gameplay mechanic discussed is supply acquisition from enemy cities. The page emphasizes that, in this scenario, friendly cities are scarce, making it crucial to capture enemy cities early to secure vital supply depots before facing stronger enemy armor units. This is reinforced in a humorous interview snippet where Rommel's name is invoked, suggesting commanders influence gameplay and strategies like looting enemy supplies are important. The right side of the page presents a scenario flowchart outlining the Mediterranean route campaign progression after the Battle of Britain scenario is completed. It lists scenarios like El Alamein, Battle of Gazalabox, and Sicily evacuation, emphasizing naval battles and the strength of the British Navy in this campaign branch. The page also features a photo of Masahiro Hinabe from SEGA's Simulation Production Group, who was involved in the game's planning. This page dives into the strategy for the first half of the story mode in Sakura Wars Columns 2. It highlights two key points to master for success. Firstly, it explains how crucial it is to manage the trust level with characters. Your responses in the LIPS dialogue system directly impact this trust, which in turn affects gameplay. Higher trust makes battles easier because the gauge fills faster, and it simplifies the puzzle sections. So choosing your LIPS responses carefully to keep your partner happy is important. The page then gives examples from Sakura and Sumaira's story sections. Sakura's scenario involves a romantic fireworks viewing that quickly turns illogical, while Sumaira's story revolves around a costume competition at the Imperial Theater. Interestingly, during Sumaira's story, only battle mode appears, emphasizing a different kind of challenge. The article advises players to pick the game mode they are best at when playing these sections. Secondly, the page details how the LIPS system changes the game itself. Even against the same opponent, your LIPS choices can alter the gameplay. Depending on your selection, the gem patterns in battles and puzzle sections can become simpler, especially making puzzle battles easier. The page includes a table outlining different LIPS choices for Sakura, Sumaira, and Maria, and how they influence the game mode outcome, whether it's puzzle or battle, or result in a timeout or escape. Essentially, the LIPS system isn't just about story, it dynamically changes the gameplay experience. This guide details character-specific strategies in Sakura Wars Columns 2, focusing on Maria, Iris, Kana, and Kurenai. Maria's section stresses the importance of focus and uses puzzle mode against Iris due to her high defense. Iris's scenario involves a missing cake, utilizing puzzle mode against the manager and other characters. Canaria's story involves finding encyclopedias, with a balanced mix of puzzle and battle sections. The guide recommends puzzle mode against Kurenai and battle mode against Ayame. Kurenai's segment revolves around repairing a steam bike, employing puzzle mode, and suggests building trust levels for easier clears. Dialogue choices consistently determine the game mode, puzzle or battle, reinforcing the link between player interactions and gameplay mechanics, and building on the previous page's discussion on trust levels. This guide focuses on strategies for cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, specifically for CPU battles, and unlocking boss characters. To unlock bosses, like the Violet Princess, players must clear the CPU mode on level 4 or higher, continues aloud. This unlocks the used variant armor, VA, for other modes. The guide provides CPU battle tips, emphasizing jump attacks, particularly Jumpa 2, which launches projectiles. It warns against prolonged aerial combat due to the Kripu's skill. A 1-to-foot sweep strategy is recommended for ground combat. A key highlight is the appearance of Zero Guki in CPU battles against the Violet Princess, with a 1 in 16 chance of encounter. The guide hints at his strength and unusual background, suggesting hidden secrets. This guide provides CPU battle tactics for the Gaitu and Helion in cyberbots. A primary strategy revolves around the reliable A2 aerial attack for consistent pressure, followed by ground-based -A 1-to-foot sweep techniques. Utilizing flying tools strategically, particularly after warp, is crucial. Overwhelming the CPU with flying tools and dash attacks is a recommended tactic. For offensive setups, Himmelfangfagen is effective, especially on a downed opponent. Dash attacks, such as Uno Ono, should be employed aggressively when an advantage is gained. Be aware of Helion's X move limitations. Prioritize spacing, leveraging a 2 attacks at mid-range, and employing lure tactics, provoking guards, leading into throws, and the Himmelfangfagen move. This page is all about Capcom and upcoming games and events. It's previewing a game show, likely focused on Capcom titles, highlighting the 10th anniversary of Rockman, Mega Man. Games like Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, and Rockman X4, Mega Man X4, are mentioned as key titles to check out at the show. There's a Capcom Con Boost event where you can play new games. There's a section called Big Push Room, featuring reader submissions of illustrations and text related to their favorite games, showcasing fan art and opinions on games like Battle Circuit. A Capcom Game Transplant Hope ranking lists games readers want to see ported to other platforms. Top titles include Alien vs. Predator, The Punisher, Capcom World 2, Barry Came, 1941, Wonder 3, and others like X's, Willows, Muscle Bomber, and Vampire. Finally, there's a Present of the Week section offering Rockman 10th anniversary badges as a gift for readers. This page is dedicated to celebrating Rockman's 10th anniversary, with a special interview featuring Keiji Inafune, a producer from Capcom's development department. The interview delves into the core appeal of Rockman, questioning what makes a robot character so captivating. Inafune reflects on Rockman's success, attributing it to the character's robot nature and the satisfying gameplay loop of overcoming challenges and acquiring new abilities. He touches upon the game's evolution over the past decade, the importance of character design, and even mentions Mario as a friendly rival in the gaming world. Looking ahead, Inafune expresses interest in exploring different genres within the Rockman universe, and expanding upon the concept of using weapons acquired from defeated bosses. Accompanying the interview are screenshots showcasing various Rockman games throughout the series, highlighting the visual evolution and classic gameplay. The page also emphasizes the friendship aspect within the Rockman games, and concludes by pointing towards the latest work, Mega Man X4, which aligns with mentions of X4 from the previous page as a game to watch out for at the Capcom event. This page continues the discussion about game design, specifically focusing on the instant death by spikes rule, with the developers joking about it being an unchanging rule. It seems they are discussing game design philosophies and player expectations, possibly still in the context of the Rockman series from the previous page. The page then transitions to a recent situation update with photos of Capcom staff, highlighting the general producer, producers, and advertising team members. They briefly mention what they have been working on recently, including getting materials together and working on FFIV for today, likely referring to Final Fantasy IV, though this seems a bit out of context for Capcom. The main feature of the page is dedicated to Vampire Savior, the Lord of Vampire, showcasing the latest screenshots and information. It details special moves for characters like Lilith, Dimitri, and Jeddah, mentioning names like Splendor Love, Midnight Bliss, and Profanity Diluvio. The page highlights the game's visuals and fast-paced action. Finally, there's a section with a developer, likely discussing the location testing of Vampire Savior. He mentions receiving feedback from players in arcades, adjusting the game based on this, and comments on the positive reactions to characters like Jeddah. He also mentions the upcoming Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter game, suggesting it's also in development and generating excitement. This page features an interview with Takahashi Chiyomi, who is presented as Honey and linked to Hudson. She talks about her love for dance, saying that while photo booth stickers are fun, dance is her real passion. She mentions dancing since elementary school and being part of a school dance group. She enjoys dancing a lot, and it cheers her up. She also talks about Hudson events and CMS, where she plays the Honey role. The page also includes a profile of Takahashi Chiyomi, giving her birth date, height, and blood type, and mentions she's been in McDonald's commercials since she was 6 and does voice acting and stage performances. There's a section promoting her homepage and a present campaign related to it. Readers can win prizes like a page title design, an illustration, answers to Hudson-related questions, fan letters, and Tsukomi comments for the page. Games mentioned in the context of prizes are Bomberman and Adventure Island, along with a system handbook and pouch, suggesting these are Hudson games. There's also a Bomberman Ori graphic, which seems like a promotional element, possibly for a Hudson event or game release, marking its 5th iteration. The overall feel is lighthearted and promotional, focusing on Takahashi Kiyomi and Hudson Soft's activities. The Sakura Wars Cherry Blossom Overture, OVA, a 4-part series, is announced for release starting October of the current year. This OVA promises unique animation distinct from the games, highly anticipated by fans. Set in 1919, the series focuses on the early days of the Imperial Assault Force before Sakura and Ogami join, exploring the Flower Division members' backstories. Key staff include Hiroi Uji, original creator, Satoru Akahori, composition screenplay, Kohei Tanaka, music, and Yokoyama Chisa, voice actress. The staff expresses excitement about the project. Hiroi Uji promises a unique experience. Akahori highlights character development. Tanaka will create new music, and Yokoyama anticipates portraying Sakura. The OVA will showcase untold stories leading up to the game, making it a must-see for Sakura Wars fans, featuring familiar characters like Sumair, Kana, Maria, Iris, and Kohran. This page is an exclusive interview with Hiroi Uji, the creator of Sakura Wars, straight after the press conference for the Cherry Blossom Overture, OVA. He discusses how the OVA will be quite different from the games, aiming to explore the characters in more depth. He mentions that the key staff, including Satoru Akahori for screenplay, Kohei Tanaka for music, and Yokoyama Chisa for voice acting, are all very excited about the project. Hiroi Uji stresses the unique experience the OVA will offer, focusing on character development and untold stories from the Taisho era before the events of the first game, showing the backstories of characters like Sumair, Kana, Maria, Iris, and Kohran. Announced here is the Sakura Wars Flower Division video Bromide, which is scheduled for release on June 25th. It sounds like a video collection featuring the Flower Division members. There's also a giveaway of a special signed Princessima autograph flower group doll for lucky fans. This page is all about diving into the action-packed multiplayer mayhem of Battle Vatoba. It's billed as the ultimate armed car action game for when you want to gather a crowd. They're really pushing the multiplayer aspect, saying it's the best way to experience the game, especially with up to 6 players in the story mode, alongside the classic one-on-one or 2-player versus modes. The page breaks down some cool features, like varied stages, that are fun to explore and change depending on where you are. It also highlights different combat styles, and recommends machine types to suit them. They've got attack types for aggressive players, evasion types for those who like to be slippery, balanced mid-range types, and durable endurance types. Each machine seems to cater to a different playstyle, adding some depth to choosing your ride. They're also giving some multiplayer tips, hinting at the rules of playing with a group, and emphasizing the chaotic fun when everyone is in on the action. There's a section about how even when you're defeated you can still get involved and mess with other players, like stealing items, which sounds like it keeps everyone engaged. Finally, there's a bit about sharing the flames, which seems to be a revenge mechanic, maybe letting defeated players unleash some fiery chaos on the leaders. Overall, the page is really selling Battle Vatoba as a party game experience, best enjoyed with a bunch of friends and plenty of explosions. Battle Vatoba player customization is showcased with 2 example machine builds. Killerb, a mid-range machine by a Tokyo player, uses a balanced loadout including an 88mm AP gun and 3 20mm chain guns, costing 30,000 credits, and employs hit-and-run tactics. Asawi, another Tokyo build, focuses on resilience with particle beam weaponry and costs 29,600 credits. It utilizes a shield and a 105mm AP gun for finishing opponents. The page also announces a Battle Vatoba Life Corner, offering prizes for team reports of multiplayer experiences, with a submission deadline of April 25th. Prizes include a stereo system, disc players, control pads, and telephone cards, totaling 66 winners. This page is all about Just Meet Elf merchandise. It's announcing a new Dukyusei 2 Sakura music box. They're calling it an Orgel, and it will play her theme music. It's made of wood, available in April, and costs 4,800 yen. The page tells you how to get elf goods. Firstly, you can visit the Elf Shop Go, which is in Tokyo near Akihabara. They sell games, anime on LD and video, figures, and even Dukyusei 2 original pillows. Secondly, they offer mail order, where you need to send your address, phone number, name, desired products, and payment in cash. There's an elf bulletin board section, which is likely news and information for fans. Tama's Mutterings seems to be a column by someone named Tama about everyday life, mentioning convenience store food and the elf employee cafeteria. The page also talks about Shanglia, which is described as a game about a boy meeting 10 girls in a dream world. It's said to have a Dragon Knight IV-style system and high-quality 2D animation. Finally, there's an elf present section, where they are giving away Shanglia telephone cards to 3 people. To enter, you need to send in a postcard with your comments and desires, and they are looking for honest opinions from readers. The deadline is April 17th. They also mention an age restriction, stating 18 and under are not allowed. This page is a hilarious 4-panel manga strip called Welcome to Katomai Yatsura World by Katomai Sensei. It's a comedic look at a food stall, maybe a ramen shop, where the customers are complaining about the prices. One lady is shocked at the cost of 10,000 yen at the first food store. Despite the high prices, everyone seems to be lining up and buying, creating a massive crowd around the stall. The manga seems to be a funny take on a love story in hell, with the main characters being drawn into this chaotic food-buying frenzy because they are hungry and poor, but they end up coming back every day anyway. It looks like this is the 7th chapter, and the final one, of this manga series. This page showcases the awesome new game from SEGA AM3, Top Skater. It's packed with information about this skateboarding title, calling it a body sensation game for the SEGA Model 2 arcade board. We're getting a thorough introduction to both courses in the game. Down the left side, we're introduced to 3 of the cool skaters you can play as. Ash, who is described as a cool and collected type, a true ace skater. Then there's Kenta, a younger skater full of energy, and Cookie, a charming girl skater and friend of Kenta's brother, who is also a cross-country skater. The main focus is on the beginner course. It looks like a detailed guide explaining the course layout and gameplay step by step, using numbered screenshots. It starts from the initial starting point, then goes through different sections of the course, showing off jumps, checkpoints, and even mentions collecting points to increase your score. It highlights features like bank corners and tricky areas, guiding players on how to navigate the course effectively to get a high score. The page finishes by showing a skater session logo for a first annual Bordercross Carnival in 1997, possibly an in-game event or promotion related to the game. This page jumps into the expert course of Stunt Tracker's trophy, positioning it as the ultimate test for skaters aiming to be number 1. It's described as a 2,990-meter long course set in a beautiful city at night, packed with tricky sections and jump spots for high-level play, and set over 2 in-game days. The page guides you through the course, section by section, similar to the beginner course from the previous page. It points out key areas like the starting point with a big jump, stadium sections, Coca-Cola billboard point for combo tricks, and a long half-pipe section. These points seem to be areas to focus on for scoring high. There's also a spotlight on Wonderful Motions, which is about the game's character animation, highlighting how the skateboarding moves are based on real snowboarding and skateboarding techniques, and the AM3 team are masters of motion creation. We also get introduced to 2 more skaters, Keith and Jill. Keith is presented as a cool skater who loves punk rock, while Jill is a cool and sexy 20-year-old skater girl who loves cars and is aiming to win the grand prize in the competition. Finally, it mentions the game's soundtrack, featuring the band Pennywise, known for their melodic hardcore punk sound. This article from SEGA AM3 Research Institute explores the real robot concept in Cyber Troopers Virtualon, focusing on mechanical designer Katoki Hajime's perspective. The piece, titled Virtualon Crossover, examines the design philosophy behind the Virtualoid robots. Katoki, also known for his work on Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, discusses how Virtualon aims for a different kind of realism compared to the often stylized Gundam mecha. He elaborates on his design influenced by anime and games, emphasizing weight and physical presence in the Virtualon robots. He seeks a sense of piloting a genuine machine, with internal logic and design contributing to the overall immersive experience. The article ultimately seeks to understand Katoki's definition of a real robot in the context of game design. The It's Powerful! Rush! Page from SEGA AM&D Department. Number 3 explores the design of Virtualon's Virtualoid robots, emphasizing their connection to the real robot concept. Katoki Hajime, the designer, is interviewed, detailing his departure from traditional Gundam aesthetics. He sought realism by focusing on weight, internal mechanics, and believability, citing examples like Temjin, Varcharon, and Dordraden. Screenshots showcase gameplay and different perspectives. Katoki acknowledges anime and games as influences, but prioritizes a unique design method, aiming for visual impact and coolness within a realistic framework. A brief biography at the bottom reveals Katoki's background in mechanical engineering, his work on various Gundam series, and his use of a Macintosh for illustrations and CG artwork. The bio also mentions the 96 Varcharon 2 project, and his mail-order spending habits. This page details the Java T Battle Tournament King of Virtua Fighter 3, a national tournament to decide the best player in Japan. It's described as an open tournament for all players, with a no-rank battle format, and for the first time, a female class will be held. The tournament is being held at SEGA game centers across Japan, with preliminary rounds in stores starting in mid-May, and regional qualifying rounds happening later. The national finals are set for July 27th at New Pier Hall in Tokyo. They are calling it the Summer Battle Tournament and comparing it to a Battle Koshien, which is a Japanese high school baseball tournament, implying a big and exciting national competition. There is a section about Javatea sponsoring the event. The first 32 people to register will have their participation fee waived. Participants are asked to bring unopened Javatea drinks with them when they register, and they can buy Javatea at the venue on the day of the tournament. It seems Javatea is a key sponsor, and probably giving away drinks. The page also features a small section about Virtua Fighter Kids, with a screenshot showing the game and describing it as having cute characters and Javatea cans appearing in the game. It seems there is a promotional tie between Javatea and Virtua Fighter Kids, alongside the main Virtua Fighter 3 tournament. This page continues detailing the Virtua Fighter 3 tournament, highlighting that entry is open from April 15th. It outlines the tournament structure as progressing from preliminary store rounds between May 11th and June 15th, then regional rounds from June 29th to July 6th, culminating in the national finals on July 27th in Tokyo at New Pier Hall in Takeshiba. The competition has both open class and women's class divisions. It specifies the number of participants for each stage and class. For example, 500 people for each class in the store preliminaries, and reducing down to 48 and 32 for the open and women's classes in the regional qualifiers. The page also mentions that Yu Suzuki from AM2 will be appearing at the national finals at New Pier Hall on July 27th. It notes that this is a rare public appearance for him and AM2, suggesting it's a significant event for fans. They hint at some kind of bombshell announcement from Suzuki Yu at the event, adding to the excitement. Finally, there's a small section promoting a Virtua Fighter 3 image album CD called Virtua Fighter 3 on the Vocal, which includes the theme song Kimi ga Inai Yoru for You. It mentions the CD is released on June 18th and encourages readers to listen to the high-quality music, and also notes that karaoke versions are included on the CD for SEGA karaoke fans. The page ends by directing readers to a website for the latest tournament information. This page in SEGA Saturn magazine dives into soft reviews, covering games released around March and April. It's broken down by reviewer groups, Lady Users Group, Game Mania Group, and guest game writers, giving different perspectives. First up is a review for Theme Park World, which scored a perfect 100%. Reviewers praise the enhanced graphics, addictive gameplay, and the freedom to build your dream amusement park, especially highlighting the roller coasters. They loved how easy it is to jump in and get creative with park design. Next is Terror Highway, also scoring a perfect 100%. This game is lauded for its movie-like presentation and thrilling experience. Reviewers enjoyed the visuals, the engaging story with multiple endings, and the fun multiplayer mode. It sounds like a really immersive and cinematic driving adventure. The Lady Users Group mentioned wanting games with compelling stories, interesting characters, and easy-to-grasp gameplay. The Game Mania Group seem more focused on the depth and mechanics of games, while the guest game writers offer a more professional critique, thinking about game balance and overall appeal. Each group brings a different angle to the reviews, making it a well-rounded perspective on these titles. SEGA Saturn magazine's Secret Techniques Go! Section showcases reader-submitted secrets for Saturn games. This particular page highlights techniques for Neon Genesis Evangelion Second Impression. The first technique, EVA Unit 01 Berserk, details how to trigger Unit 01's Berserk mode by inputting a command after an apostle attack, maintaining a sync rate above 50%, and fighting subsequent battles within 3 turns. The second, Umbilical Cable Cut, describes how to initiate the thrilling countdown sequence. After 3 turns and maintaining a sync rate above 50%, move to close combat. During the enemy's attack, the cable will be cut, initiating a limited power-down timer. The section ends with a call for reader submissions for other Saturn games, offering prizes like software, books, and cash vouchers. Participants needed to submit game title, technique, name, address, age, phone number, and desired software. This page reveals the upcoming software release schedule for the SEGA Saturn. It's presented as a table, organized by release month from April through to December and beyond into next spring. The table details the release date, game title, price, maker, genre, and compatibility notes. Looking at April, titles like Grand Red, Machine Soldier Nadeshiko, and Metal Slug are listed, spanning genres like simulation, adventure, and action shooting. May sees games like Groove on Fight, a fighting game, and Breakpoint, a sports title. June highlights Basic for SEGA Saturn and Full Car Mini 4WD Super Factory for the younger audience. July includes games like Willy Wombat, a platformer. August has titles like Madu Monogatari and Galaxy Fraulein Yuna. September features Panzer Dragoon Zwei, and October lists more titles but without specific dates. December and spring of next year continue with further releases across various genres, like RPG, ADV, and SLG. The page serves as a release calendar for gamers to anticipate upcoming titles for their SEGA Saturn, listing a diverse range of games across various genres and price points. It's a snapshot of what Saturn gamers can look forward to in the coming months. This page continues the SEGA Saturn release schedule, moving from summer to winter and beyond into 97 within the year. Starting with summer releases, we see titles like Azel Panzer Dragoon RPG, working title, which we know as Panzer Dragoon Saga, alongside other games like Last Bronx, Fantasista, and Biohazard Resident Evil in English. There's a mix of genres here, including RPGs, action games, and even some simulation titles. Moving into autumn, titles like Guilty Gear, the popular fighting game, and Kyan Kyan Puppy Extora, which sounds like a pet simulation or adventure game, are listed. We also see EIYU Gaidengal Act Heroism, possibly a strategy RPG, and Hopstep Ayumi 2, which is likely an adventure game. For winter releases, titles like Wizard's Harmony 2, which is a strategy RPG, and Kyokyoku, a unique-sounding title, and Snowboard Kids are mentioned. There is also Mario Artist Wild Animal Kingdom, which might be related to the Nintendo 64 Mario Artist series, and Virtual Athlete, and Ninja Jajamaru-kun Ghost Ninja Decisive Battle, a classic action title. The list goes on, with games spanning genres like action, RPG, and simulation, showing a wide range of games coming for the Saturn through the end of 96 and into 97. Game and art's subtle relationship. Expanding Sensitivity explores how games, as interactive media, enhance our sensory experiences. The article, penned by Dr. Fuse Hiroaki, examines games as a new form influencing human sensitivity, contrasting them with passive media like anime and movies. Games, unlike these mediums, require active participation, offering players agency in shaping their experience. The review uses Neon Genesis Evangelion as a prime example, highlighting the player's role in selecting scenarios and engaging with pre-rendered visuals. It suggests that this active participation and unique atmosphere evoke deep emotions, akin to experiencing art. The article draws parallels between the game's themes and expressions found in art, such as Goya's paintings, ultimately arguing that games, much like art, expand our perception and evoke powerful feelings. SEGA Saturn Magazine is holding a giveaway for its subscribers. Prizes include a SEGA Saturn game giveaway with 20 games, distributed across Japan. Fans of underwater action can win one of 5 new Seabed Warship poster sets, featuring posters and puzzle pieces. Puzzle enthusiasts have a chance to win one of 6 Dayu sets, including a puzzle and sticker. For Capcom fans, 10 Cyberbots posters are up for grabs, celebrating the mech fighting game, Cyberbots: Full Metal Madness. Finally, 6 prizes of manga Kadram books, 2 winners each, offer digital collections of manga in various genres. The magazine also promotes its upcoming April 25th issue, the Tokyo Game Show, and is seeking new writers for its editorial team. This page is dedicated to Jante Battle Cosplayer, a game for the SEGA Saturn. It looks like a mahjong game with a unique twist, cosplay. The page highlights that it features both anime characters and live-action personalities, specifically mentioning 18 anime characters and 8 idols, all brought to life with the voices of 3 big voice actors. The game seems to be focused on battles, where you compete in cosplay contests within a mahjong setting. The text also mentions Cosplay Scramble Mahjong Battle, and anime and live-action characters. We can see images of the anime characters and real photos of women who I guess are the idols or cosplayers involved in the game. Their release date is listed as April 1997, and the price is 6,800 yen. It's definitely aiming for a lighthearted and fun experience by blending mahjong with the appeal of anime characters and real-life idols in cosplay. This page continues advertising Jante Battle Cosplayer, emphasizing that in this game, all costumes are the target. It reiterates that the game is set in a world where collecting costumes is a big trend, and you play as a representative chosen by Nishenji Yako to compete in cosplay battles using mahjong. Winning these battles lets you obtain new costumes, while losing can lead to embarrassing situations. There's also mention of VIP seats to view real idols. The page details pre-order bonuses, which include an original poster and a cry-drum with original artwork. There are also 3 campaigns announced. One is a cash prize draw for 10,000 yen, and 2 others are prize draws to win software or a special original picture CD. Additionally, there's an announcement for Daiki's booth at the Tokyo Game Show 97 Spring, where Jante Battle Cosplayer will be playable, and merchandise will be available. The text highlights the mahjong capability of the Jante Battle Cosplayer series, stating it's a hit series enjoyed by many users, and that the PC version of Jante series was the top-selling mahjong software. It also mentions the popularity of anime computer games, and another series called National Uniform Beautiful Girl Grand Prix Series. This page highlights Real Sound, announcing its arrival on the SEGA Saturn. The page features bold, stylized text for Real Sound, with barcode-like lines and even braille. It's a simple but impactful announcement, focusing on bringing this Real Sound experience to the SEGA Saturn console. The Warp logo is prominently displayed in the top left corner, suggesting they are the developers or publishers.